Been 2 weeks since my last confession. She still has me calling out her name, holding back myself from calling on her phone. Let me tell it like it is, I think I love her. She still has me calling out her name, holding back myself from calling on her phone. Let me tell it like it is, I think I love her. Maybe you don't know what I go through daily, tortured by her beauty. You've never seen anything like her. Maybe you don't know what I go through daily, tortured by her beauty. You've never seen anything like her.
This is my confession, I just can't keep it inside anymore.
I can't take it anymore.
I just wanna tell her that I love her.
Gotta tell her that I love her.
This is my confession, I just can't keep it inside anymore.
Can't take it anymore.
I just wanna tell her that I love her.
Gotta tell her, can't keep it inside.
Father,
please let me speak my mind. She doesn't know the thoughts I have of her. Sleeping in my bed, rocking till the morning light. I think I might just tell her how I feel about her. Sleeping in my bed, rocking till the morning light. Maybe you don't know what I go through daily, tortured by her beauty. You'll never see anything like her. Maybe you don't know what I go through daily, tortured by her beauty. You'll never see anything like her. This is my confession, I just can't keep it inside anymore. Forgive me, Father, I just wanna tell her straight from the wheel. I have fallen from the grave. This is my confession, I just can't keep it inside anymore. Forgive me, Father, I just wanna tell her that I love her. I just wanna speak for mine. This is my confession. I just can't keep it inside anymore. So forgive me, Father. I just wanna tell her that I love her. She's got me under her spell. She's got my confession. I just can't keep it inside anymore. I'll try, I'll try, I'll try.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, let's try that again. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Awesome, awesome. Welcome to SA Property Investors Networking Event Soweto. Give yourself a huge round of applause for being here this evening. Great stuff. Well, my name is Candice van Wyk, and on behalf of SAPN Leadership and the rest of the team, I want to welcome each and every one of you here today. I also want to say well done for being here. Well done for being here, because this is really an awesome opportunity. It's an awesome platform for you to connect with like-minded people, positive people, other property investors. And over and above that, ladies and gentlemen, it's really an awesome opportunity for you to learn. So today our theme is how to invest in property without using any of your own money.
Can I put this cable inside so
Nico, hoe klink dit?
they don't see it?
Doesn't sound too shaky. Okay. I'm already on live, but I'm testing. Oh, okay. Hello, everyone on the live stream site. Great stuff. So more than that, ladies and gentlemen, it's really an opportunity for you to learn. And today I'm going to be sharing the platform with other property investors and experts and professionals who will be sharing with you how you are able to invest in property without using any of your own money, and that is by using OPM. Now, how many of you know what OPM is? Can I see a raise of hands? Okay, other people's money. Now, ladies and gentlemen, just before we continue, I just want to find out how many of you in this audience Sorry, young man. Okay, let's try that again. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Awesome, awesome. Welcome to SA Property Investors Networking Event Soweto. Give yourself a huge round of applause for being here this evening. Well done, well done. Now, how many of you are here for the first time? Can I see a raise of hands? Wow, that's more than 50% of this audience. Let's give all our first timers a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Well done for being here. My name is Candice van Wyk, and on behalf of SAPN Leadership and the rest of the team, I want to welcome each and every one of you here today. I also want to say well done for being here, because this is really an awesome opportunity and platform to network with like-minded people, positive people, other property investors, and over and above that, ladies and gentlemen, it's really an opportunity for you to learn. And as you know, our theme for today is how to buy property without using any of your own money. How many of you like that idea, having to buy property without using any of your own money? For sure. So you're going to be learning from myself and the other speakers who are all professional property speakers, investors, and you're going to be learning from all of us how you are able to use OPM, and that is other people's money, without using, how you can buy property without using any of your own money. But just to tell you a little bit more about myself, for those of you who don't know me, as I mentioned, my name is Candice van Wyk, and I've been invited by SAPN to come and host this event today. So I'm very excited and I'm very happy to be here today. And just to share with you that my property journey really started in 2009. And my business journey started in 2010. But it was really only in 2014, ladies and gentlemen, that I started learning about different ways of using OPM in order to move my property goals forward. And today I don't only invest in local markets here in South Africa, but also in international markets. And I've also had the opportunity over the last couple of years to help many people start their journey towards financial freedom and wealth creation. And I've also personally coached over 100 people in the areas of property and business and helping them to move their property goals forward by leveraging OPM. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm also the co-founder and director of Property Pick, but I'll share with you a little bit later on Property Pick. And as you can see, we've got a jam-packed agenda for this evening. And we've got many speakers here. And all my speakers, where are all my speakers? Can I just see a raise of hands? Okay, so my speakers know who they are. And all my speakers have about 10 minutes to come and deliver their presentations today. And I want to emphasize that, please, because we do have a full agenda here this evening. And then our special guest has got about 40 minutes to deliver his presentation today. So, Rally, we're bringing you up right at the end. Okay, so you've got about 40 minutes. But, ladies and gentlemen, just to share with you a little bit about Property Pick, and I'm sure many of you saw our banner on the outside. Did you see our banner when you came in here today? Okay, now this is a property investors networking platform. Now, as Property Pick, we are investors ourselves, and we launched an online investment property platform. We launched that in the middle of last year, and it took us about 18 months, ladies and gentlemen, to work on that project before we launched it. And the reason why we launched Property Pick was, being investors ourselves, we discovered that there are a few challenges that investors face today. And one is finding really good investment property opportunities. Another challenge that we face is the time to find those good deals. And then another challenge that we also face is really finding a good power team, which consists of any property professional and expert. So finding those three things and finding the time to do that becomes then a challenge for a lot of us. So we decided that as investors, we wanted to launch a platform whereby we are also able to tap into these really good opportunities, but also to open the platform up to other property investors. So we're not your normal Property 24s. We are an investment property platform. So all our deals that you will find on our platform are for investors. So for those of you who would also like to sell your properties quickly, it also then becomes an opportunity for you to sell your property quickly. But what we've also discovered is, in working with a lot of motivated sellers over the years, we discovered that a lot of motivated sellers sometimes find themselves in a situation where they need to sell those properties quickly for whatever reason. And some of those people could also be facing repossession. So we really wanted to also bring this platform to those sellers and say, okay, if you are wanting to sell your property quickly, and directly to an investor, here is another platform for you to tap into. So we are not an estate agent. We do not take any commission from the deals. We only provide the platform. So you basically subscribe as a seller, or you subscribe as an investor, or you subscribe as a power team, and you are then able to tap, into the platform. And then, of course, as we said, for our investors, it then becomes an awesome opportunity for you to find those good deals. So yes, you're going to be learning about how to leverage OPM, but in order for you to find those good deals, in order for you to leverage OPM, you need to find the good deals first, isn't it? So this just becomes another platform for you to tap into. And then, of course, also power team members. So as I said, a power team consists of any property professional and expert. So if you are a property professional or expert today, whether you are a contractor, whether you are an attorney, a bond originator, whatever property service you offer, this is then also an opportunity for you to tap into. And then, of course, for all our investors, we basically then become that one-stop shop for you, where you can find the deals and you can find the right team to help you move your property goals forward. So for those of you who haven't visited our site yet, you're welcome to do that. So just visit propertypick.co.za. So that's propertypick.co.za. And then I just want to use this opportunity to brag a little bit, Andrew. So earlier this year, Property Pick received a global award as the most innovative investment property platform in South Africa for 2019. Awesome. So we're very, very excited about that, and really it just encourages us, and it just shows us that we are definitely on the right track in terms of what we're trying to do here. Okay, but as I said, so propertypick.co.za. That's how you would subscribe to the platform. But ladies and gentlemen, without wasting further time, I would like to introduce you to Andrew Walker. He's not only the founder of SA Property Investors Network, but he's also an amazing, amazing person. I met Andrew in 2014 when I really started my property journey, and I can't tell you how much of information and knowledge that I've received from this young man. He started his journey in his early 20s. He's been investing in property for over 15 years. He's done over 600 property deal transactions to date. And Andrew's very passionate about creating these types of platforms to help people to connect, because he's seen the value for himself as well. So I want us to give him a huge round of applause as we invite him up to the stage.
Thank you so much, Candice. Good evening, everyone from Soweto. Oh my gosh, that's disgusting. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Can I just get the clicker from you, please? So, ladies and gents, I just want to see in the room right now, who here has bought at least one investment property? Can I see a show of hands? Keep your hands up. Keep your hands up if you own more than 5. Bang, most hands go down. The reason most hands go down is because of finance. Everyone here wants to build a bigger portfolio, don't you? And most of us use the banks. It's a great thing, but you need to learn the different strategies in property, but I won't get into that because Candace has put a time limit on how long I can speak for. So this is Lebo Gunguluza. He's the chairman of the SA Property Investors Network. He would have been here this evening, but apparently he's overseas at the moment, or he's going overseas, and that's why he could not be there. And I'm working closely with Lebo in the tech space. But now when we look at SAP and who is SAP, and there's 3 main things. What I found is, when I moved back to South Africa in 2013, and I'm sure you'll agree with me that right now in South Africa, there's a lack of the correct type of education. Because I do believe that every single South African can be wealthy or can build a property portfolio if you know how and you connect it to the right people. Would you agree? But the problem is most people don't because they don't have the right education. So that's what we do. We educate and we network. Because remember, it's not always what you know, but it's who you know. Would you agree with that? And what we've done through SAPWIN is given you a platform. I'll talk briefly about that platform tonight, but tonight is about you. What I want you to do, every single one of you, my outcome for tonight is every single one of you must leave here inspired. Every single one of you must leave here with at least 3 contacts. It could be an investor with money. It could be a property deal. Whatever you're looking for in the property space, we have in this room. Now, I'm not going to ask people who's got money because that's rude, but there are people in this room with money. So if money is an issue, that's not going to be a problem. And you know, when I started SAP in 2013, I used to be an estate agent. And, you know, being overseas, I did lots of property networking. And if you had to ask me the question, but Andrew, how did you get involved in all these transactions? You must remember, I used to be a sound engineer. I was brought up in Edenville. I was a Vale boy. Is there anyone here from the East Rand? Can I see a show of hands? Can you give them a round of applause, please? That's where the cha-ching is. That's where we do business. That's where all the, what I call the old, dirty, stinky houses are. Because we buy for demand, don't we? Now, I started SAPN 6 years ago without knowing where it was going to go. All I wanted to do was run a small little networking event at Keller Williams Estate Agents where I could start to network. What I then realized is, hang on a minute, there's a big one. And by the way, guess how many people I got in the room? About 7, actually. Of which they were all mates of mine, okay? But anyway, it was a start, right? And as I got going and I met my business partner, guess where I met my business partner? At the very first networking event. And through that, we started doing deals in Edenville, buying and selling properties. Guess whose money I used when I started buying and selling properties? Did I use my money? I used other people's money. And that's what we're going to talk about this evening. And a long story short, ladies and gents, you know, thanks to the help of Michelle Swart, you can see over there, wave your hand, Michelle. Michelle does all the marketing. Please give her a round of applause because she's a star. And she's going to come up a little bit later and talk about the competition, aren't we, Michelle? Because, by the way, has anyone played this game before? Can I see a show of hands? You, Nikki and Frederick, you actually run a little school, don't you? So Frederick and Nikki run a little school teaching kids how to manage finances, don't you? Don't worry, I won't get you up. But if you want to find out more, go speak to them now. Is it okay if I give this away for free tonight? Can I give it away for free? Okay, I'll talk about it in a minute. And you guys aren't allowed to win it because you've got about 100 of these. And look, through it, we run these events. It's our second time in Soweto. We run these in Bloemfontein, Cape Town, Durban, Johannesburg, all around Johannesburg with one clear vision. My main goal and vision in my lifetime is to get to as many South Africans to teach them how to get started in property. Because there's so many people I meet that deserve to be rich, deserve to have a property, regardless of your background. I don't care where you come from. Doesn't mean if you're starting from nothing. I believe that with the right education, the right community, that anything is possible. Would you agree with that? Can I at least have a round of applause for that? Come on. That's quite a cool vision, and that's why I do what I do. And I will give the opportunity to join for free this evening. Now, a big thank you to some of our partners. We've got Absa Bank. Where's the guys from Absa? There we go. Stand up for me. Stand up for me. Don't be shy. Stand up. Where's my Absa team? Hey, we got 2 Absa guys at the back there. Danielle, Alexander. Now, I won't steal the thunder, but they will be talking about some of the investment products today. We've got Bruno Samau. Where's Bruno Samau? I said your surname right? Give Bruno a round of applause. And Christian Janssen over here from Finvas, but they will talk about why they are here this evening. Now, who here is not a member of the SA Property Investors Network? I can't put my hand up. Who's not a member? Marlene, you not. Put your hand up. Okay. Who's not a member? Put your hands up. What's this? I want to see a hand. Okay. This is how it's going to work. Get your phones out. I want to show you something. Get your phones out. Sir, get your phones out. Marlene, you too. Picking on you if you got your phone with you. Go to the internet. Go to the internet. Do you know how many people I meet generally in the property investment? Oh, Andrew, I didn't know about the event. Every single one of you needs to at least join as a free member to be told about all the events across the country. We're often giving free tickets away. For example, at the property show. Who knows about the property show coming up? Okay, who would like free tickets? Okay, all you need to do is join as a free member and you guys are going to get free tickets to that event. Okay, so everyone go to join SAPN. Are you doing that? And the reason I'm telling you that is I'm going to be coming back to this game. There's a reason, because Michelle's going to explain that. Or I'll try my best. The other thing we've just launched is part of what we do is we connect people. So what we found in the network is some of my students have got millions of rands. I mean it, millions. They've got affordability up to 10 million. What they don't have is time. Then what we have is people like TJ. Stand up, TJ. TJ came through the system. What TJ has is a lot of time. So what we like to do, not saying you break, my friend. He's actually a very wealthy man now. But my point is this. Maybe just take a photograph of that because no one's probably seen that yet. Just take a photograph. So what someone like TJ will do is you'll go to sapropertynetwork.com/connect. There's 3 options. Andrew, can you connect me to someone with money? Andrew, I have got money, I'm looking for a deal. Or Andrew, I'm just looking to network, I want to be connected to Marlene from Spa and Build It. Or I want to be connected to Elise from Expello. Whatever it is, you must remember that we've already got the power team in place, and we personally use these guys ourselves. We will then connect you to that person. There's absolutely zero charge or cost to this. You've just got to go to that page and we will help and assist you by doing that. Is that okay with everyone? Now, everyone get your phones out. Everyone needs to do this for me. You're going to log into your face because this is how you're going to win the game. And Michelle, can you tell them how you're going to choose the person? Now, come to the front here. Now, ladies and gents, can someone tell me where in South Africa can you go buy this game from? What shop can you go in? Can't buy this at all in South Africa. We can import it from America. It's going to cost you close to 2,000 Rand, plus minus, depending on delivery and tax. And we're going to give it away for free tonight. Just remind me, who wants to win it, ladies and gents? If your hands are up, you're probably lying to me or you're boring. Okay, Michelle, how's this going to work?
Okay, ladies and gents, so we actually have more than just one prize to give away, but the lovely Candice will be able to tell us about the other prizes as well. But in order for you to go into the draw to win any of the prizes, you need to do 3 things. First and foremost, I need you to join as a member, as a free member at www.joinsappen.com. It's free membership. With that, you're going to be able to receive information about our future events, free webinars and resources, ebooks, and a whole lot of things to kickstart your journey. Second thing that I need you to do is you need to go to our either Instagram or Facebook page, whichever you follow is perfectly fine. Both of the handles are up there. It's at SA Property Network. So you go ahead and you go onto our page. From there, you're going to go and you're going to post a photo of tonight and tag our page and go #SappenGP. I'm going to go through all of those. We're going to look at the images, and I've actually got a team outside that works with me, and we're going to choose, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, we've got 5 prizes to give away. We're going to choose the 5 best ones, and then each and every one of you will be able to win a prize tonight.
And it'll be at what time? About 10, 9? After Raleigh speaks, right?
Yeah, we'll be announcing it after Raleigh, but I need you to do your post by 10:15 so that I can go through everything, okay? So 3 things. Join as a free member, www.joinsappen.com. Then go like our page, whether it's Instagram or follow, and our Facebook page, and then you do a post tagging us and #SappenGP.
Awesome. Thank you so
Happy
much, Michelle.
investing.
Give her a round of applause. Well done. Okay, just put the mic over there. It's cool. So, ladies and gents, I won't take up any more of your time because we've got so many speakers. Take a lot of notes tonight. It's about education, and we are going to give the chance to network. Ladies and gents, I will see you in the networking. Over to Candice. Thank you. There we go.
Thank you,
Come on,
Andrew.
let's give you a proper round of applause.
Let's give him a round of applause. So just to mention the special prizes for today. So it's the cash flow game, as you all can see. So this is one of the special prizes for today. As Property Pick, we will also be giving one investor a 3 months free subscription. So you'll basically be able to access the platform at no cost and be able to tap into these awesome deals. So that's a 3 months free subscription. And then what ABSA is also sponsoring today is the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And how many of you have heard about this book? Okay, read it. Let's see. Okay, so we still have about 60% of the audience who haven't read it. So there's an opportunity to walk away with this book. And then on the other hand, we've got David Beatty here, the expert landlord. Anyone familiar with this book? Okay, so you'll also be able to walk away with this. So these are awesome prices for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. So go on to Facebook, Instagram, put your hashtags there, take a really cool photo. As Michelle said, we will be monitoring that throughout the evening. And before the end of the night, a few of you will be walking away with some awesome prizes tonight. Okay, but just to move on to our next speaker, ladies and gentlemen. So our next speaker is from APSA. As you heard Andrew said, APSA is one of the main sponsors here for the SAPN events. We've got Miguel Martins from APSA who will be coming up here. And the awesome thing about Miguel is that he's going to be sharing with you ways of how you are able to leverage OPM without using any of your own money. But another awesome thing about him is that he's also an investor. So Miguel also invests in property. So not only does APSA have some awesome products that they've put together for investors, but they also understand what investors are looking for. And that's the awesome thing, because he also puts on his investor's hat when he puts together these awesome products. So let's give him a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. The handheld.
Right, is that it? Okay. Hi everyone, so thanks Candice. So as Candice said, I work for APSA Home Loans, but I'm a property investor in my own right. So I'm able to take my passion, my hobby, and my work and very often overlap it. And tonight I'm not just working, but I'm also enjoying myself and meeting other investors and looking for opportunities. I've done a couple property investments this year. I do multi-lets, so I tend to understand your issues, and I always look to meeting new people and understanding where are they finding their challenges, and how can I go back to credit and back at the office and twist their arm and make them do better deals for us. I meant me. I mean us. So and that's only half a joke. So just to, Andrew did point out the team, but I just want to give you a little bit more depth about the team. So we got two teams here today. The one team is from our APSA Home Loans team in Gauteng. Let's put up your hands. And then we got our very local team, the team from the Mopanya Mall branch, and that's Shaba, Cedric. Hi there, guys. So guys, they down the road. They understand the local market. They understand how our valuers work, how to do lending in the area. So they are on the doorstep for those who are in Soweto or investing in Soweto. So a couple thoughts from our side. So if you haven't been, so a lot of new members here today. How many members have been on, or how many people have been on the Facebook page? Guys, get on there. It's a super Facebook page. I'm probably on there for about 20, 30 minutes every day. A lot of conversations going on, a lot of people posing questions about, I'm looking at this property, I'm having this challenge, and then a lot of other investors giving them advice and thoughts. And you see the discussion going on. There's a lot to be learned, so get on there. But what I've shared with you today was a couple polls that we did over the last 6 months, and I've pulled some that are interesting. And the reason we do these polls is we want to know who's on the page, what are the challenges, so that when Andrew and the team put events together, or when they bring in speakers, or when we think about our products, we know who we're talking to, we know who to better solution for. So I've got 3 to show you. One, who are investors? So this was super interesting. I think we had about 250 people respond to this particular one. So, and it'd be interesting to know in the room, and I think Andrew pulled it out just now, very similar. 45% of people who responded to the poll are still thinking about getting in investing. They are learning. They are speaking to investors. That drops down to 37% of people who have a property or two. What concerns me, and I think this plugs into Andrew's vision and aspiration, is then anyone who's 3 to 5 and onwards, that just drops off. So this doesn't. So the red bar, everyone wanting to get in, and I think that's most of us in the room today. The green bar, those who are getting into it, and then the rest, that's people who are really starting to grow a portfolio and starting to realize the aspiration of financial freedom through property. It's about taking action, it's about building a knowledge base, and it's about steadily growing that over time. So a couple thoughts. Yeah, that's exactly what I spoke about. Then we went on to another one. What properties are people looking at investing next? So this was surprising for me as well. So multi-lets, many people. So multi-lets are where you have a house and you have 2 cottages in the back, or rooms linked to the house, or maybe you have a house and it's got 2 or 3 ensuite bedrooms, and really there are several households or several leases on the same property. So the only challenge with that is that there's a legal way and the not legal way of getting it done. Guys, go to the challenge is anyone can buy a property and build on. I've done it. But if you haven't got the consent use with council, you haven't got your building plans done, you can't sell that property should you want to, so you can't realize the equity that you've created. But even without selling it, you can't go back to the bank and say, I've spent 200,000-300,000 rand investing in the property. I've now got a good rental income. I want to do a further advance. I want to pull that 200,000 or 300,000 rand out and go and do the next property. It limits your growth. So often, the challenges with building plans and getting consent use are two things. It takes time and it takes money. But that 15,000, 20,000 rand that it may cost you to get the building plans and to get the right regulations in place are well worth the 200,000 or 300,000 rand that you can pull out of a property. And that's a small property. If you're into bigger properties, it's well worth it. So most people looking at that, sectional title, Airbnb, interesting. A lot of people looking at Airbnb. Airbnb, you don't have to buy the property. You can rent someone's property and with the permission of the landlord, Airbnb it and then rent it on. Very interesting strategies there. What is surprising to me was student accommodation. Only 4% of people actually looking at student accommodation. It's very topical at the moment and can be very profitable. But how many people are actually doing it? And so it's definitely a growth environment. And then lastly, what tools do we use? Excel. Most people use Excel. And I can understand this because I can see myself in these stats. When I did my first property, I didn't go and invest and spend on buying property software. I used what was available to me, Microsoft Office. As I bought my second property, I just created another column and I used Microsoft Office. By the time people get onto their 5th, 10th properties, all they've done is created a more complex model because it works for them. So I understand why that's the case. But I think at some point you need to look at how you use more professional software. And the benefit of using professional software is that when you're going to pull a rent roll or wanting to present yourself for finance at the bank, it looks a lot better when there's a report that's been pulled. Cash flows can be understood. It's not a table done in Excel. It does help to do that. But Microsoft Office is the most popular rental software at the moment. Of course, Lightstone, and then comparing online property searches. So you go to use private property, you look at that property versus that property to see whether the value you're looking at is fair. And then TPN. TPN will tell you if the person that you're speaking to, what their credit bureau score is and whether they've rented anywhere else and give you a view of that. TPN is really, really useful. So some useful stats, and I think those who are property investors in the room can probably see themselves in these stats, right? But just to tell you, so we're talking about other people's money. I got 1 minute, 1 hour, 1 minute.
1 minute.
Okay, 2 minutes. I'm going to run through this. Other people's money. Let me tell you about other people's money, which is the bank's money, and let me tell you how to use a basic home loan to grow your portfolio to 2, 5, 10, 20, 30 properties. There's no limitation. A bank. So I had a conversation with my credit manager last year, and I said, how many properties can an investor finance with ABSA? What's the limitation? He said there's no limitation. There used to be a limitation, they just 10, but no one actually could validate why 10. As long as the affordability is there and the person's managing their properties, there's no limitation on how many properties you can have with a home loan. You can have 10 home loans if your affordability is there. So how do you do that? So I've built a little model here, and it's something that I've shared several times, and I think it'll be valuable here. And in the break, please come and chat to myself or the home loans team about the various aspects. So a buy-to-let home loan is a basic home loan. Two differences are when they look at your affordability, they look at we look at your salary, we look at your other earnings, we look at your existing rental income. We take 80% of that. So you're earning 10,000 Rand rental income, we'll take 8,000 Rand and add that to your affordability. And if you're buying your third property, you already have two properties, your own property and investment property, you're buying a third property, we will take the income you expect to receive from the property you're earning, you're purchasing, sorry, to be able to extend your affordability to buy more. We help you grow your portfolio. We're the only bank that have that, and it's been very helpful for investors. So the Brewer strategy, buy, renovate. So buy a property that's undervalued, looking terrible. Andrew spoke about properties in the East Rand. They're all over the place. Look for these older properties. Buy them undervalued, fix them up, rent them out, get that rent in, okay? So you've taken the home loan out, you fixed the property up, you've used some of your cash, you've invested it in. Fix the property up. If need be, if you've done it, building plans, consent use, then come back to us and refinance it. Get a further advance. You borrowed 500,000 from the bank, you invested 200, come back and refinance. If you've done it, if you've done it well, it's now an 800,000 rand property. There's no reason that we won't consider giving you an 800,000 rand loan if the financing is there and if the existing rent matches it. So you put in 200, we can possibly get you more than 200 back if the affordability is there and if the asset's right. And the last R in BR is repeat. This is how you build a property portfolio. You do it with the one time, buy, renovate, rent, refinance, do it again. Buy, renovate, rent, refinance, do it again. It's like a snowball. If you've ever seen a snowball roll down the hill, okay, it doesn't stand in South Africa, but that snowball starts off small, then it grows bigger and bigger and bigger, and eventually you've got a portfolio of 5, 10, 15, 20 properties. That's what I've got to share with you very quickly, and sorry, Candice, I've gone over time, but I'm here in the break, and I'll be here throughout the evening. I love talking about property. Come and talk to me about, come and ask me your questions, and let's have a chat.
Awesome. Let's give Miguel
Thank
a
you.
round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Well done. Thank you, Miguel. Now, isn't that good news, ladies and gentlemen? So you are able to leverage the bank's money and get started in property. Did you hear that? So lots of opportunities, and Absa is really the only bank that I'm aware of that does offer this product where they start looking at future rental as part of your expanding and then being able to provide the finance based on that as well. So really awesome opportunities that are available. And now I'm going to call our next speaker to come up. And he is what you call a finance specialist, ladies and gentlemen. Now, he works for Finvice, but he's also a property investor. So he's also investing in property here in the South African markets. And Finvice have got some awesome products that they have available for property investors. So in addition to what you've just heard, you're going to be hearing about a lot more opportunities in terms of how you're able to leverage OPM. So let's call up Christian Jansen. Let's give him a round of applause. Awesome.
Evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's always an interesting one to take the stage directly after one of the banks, because there's a massive perception that your typical bond originator is anti-competitive against the banks. But that's where Absa is one of the amazing exceptions. Miguel and I work quite closely together, and with the odd press release as they're tweaking products, I love poking the bear and saying, no, listen, not good enough. Change this, how about this? And the brainstorming element of it is quite important, because that's ultimately how we get towards raising finance. We need to get money into our pockets to leverage our existing property deals, as well as get access to additional property deals. And that's specifically where Finvice as a boutique finance intermediary service provider comes in. Our core role is to help you find the best possible deal. And we do that by means of keeping all of the different banks in the game. So ultimately it comes down to getting the best possible deal on the table. The cheaper I pay for my bond in terms of an interest obligation, the better. Every little bit of savings makes a massive difference. And if you look at a 1.5 million rand property and you've got a 0.5% saving in interest rate, it's roughly about 120,000 rand that you save over the duration of the bond. So it is important to also shop around, but it's also important to have innovative partners as part of it. The amount of transactions that Miguel and I have soundboarded off of each other and how we've gotten that business through at APSA to get that creative solution is one of the things that push APSA in this market, and I'm proud to share the stage with him on account of that. Now, looking at Finvice itself and our type of products, our full product list is 24 different types of financing options that we have. Anything ranging from residential, commercial, agricultural. We contract with various different financiers, so we are also then able to tailor-make that solution to what your exact needs are. So currently I'm busy helping a farmer acquire additional land. I'm helping somebody develop a new property. We're busy with a couple of normal residential transactions. It's quite a mixed match of everything. But my core focus is and will always be on your residential investment properties. So typically I would meet with one of the SAPN members. We'll run through a pre-qualification. We'll establish what type of bond you can expect. And then based on that, you've got your number with which you can go and find the properties. Chat to one of the sourcing agents or chat to estate agents. You've already got that number in your pocket effectively. The only caveat that you then have is, will the banks deem that property good enough security? Because it literally comes down to two elements. When you look at a property transaction, but I'm running completely against the sequence of my slides now. So in short, I explained what a bond originator entails. I am your one single contact point. So it's one set of documents, one set of, one email address, one communication line through whom you are able to leverage the time of all of the different banks to get that best possible deal. Now, I was asked to also just give a brief breakdown of what type of financing one can expect from the banks. And there's one golden rule at all points in time. And that rule is that according to the National Credit Act, your maximum bond installment cannot exceed 30% of your gross income. So if you earn 20,000 Rand a month, your maximum, in other words, roughly at prime now, about a bond of 625,000 Rand. So that is how we also establish that figure. But you have to also have a clean payment profile, and you have to have sufficient disposable cash flow to service that bond installment. That's literally it. It's not rocket science. Our only big challenge, and Miguel also alluded to credit, is in this type of economical climate, it tends to be credit that runs the show. The small tail that makes the financing decisions wags the entire dog. But that is also where opportunities come in. As an investor, it is in my best benefit to look at a property that people are struggling to purchase, that a seller is struggling to sell. That gives me the opportunity to negotiate price. And the cheaper I can buy, as Andrew also said, the profit lies in the buying, not in the selling. The better for me, long term. So it is a good position to be in, but if you prepare yourself sufficiently, the world's your oyster. I'm not going to get into structuring and all of that. That's where Bruno is also a very, very valuable partner in the SAPN fraternity. So, in short, if you are unsuccessful with a bond application, it would be one of a couple of reasons. Either the property is insufficient security, or your repayment ability is not suitable to the bank's policy. You would find that one bank would decline and another one may be approved based on credit scoring and internal record, but ultimately it comes down to how are you conducting your finances. And I'll guide you through that. And I, with open arms, invite each and every one of you to contact me, to also chat to me about getting a pre-qualification done, to establish what your affordability level is. And if there is the odd niggle, I won't run around and say, no, gosh, you know what Michelle did. It's more on the lines of, let's find the solution and work towards a goal to ensure that you can get favorable finance, because that's literally all it is all about. So that is our contact channel from a SAPN perspective. We created a dedicated email address to also just streamline everything. Preface, because I give the same treatment to everybody, and SAPN is my source of business, so of course I do. So If there are any questions, I'll also be around with the networking session and me ask the odd question. I've got a couple of creative ways of approaching transactions, but that comes out in a one-to-one consultation. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Let's give him a round of applause. Thank you, Christian. Now, another exciting thing about what he just said was that, remember, he says that he goes out to the different finance companies and he actually tries and gets the best interest rate for you. Isn't that so? So that's also important to note, is that he goes out to the different banks and all the other finance institutions that FinWise have access to, and they then go out and they try and find the best interest rate for you. And that's very important, because at the end of the day, if you are, it means that you could potentially have more income in your pocket at the end of that deal. Isn't that so? So very, very exciting stuff that is just shared with us. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to encourage you during the breaks, please spend time with all of our speakers. Miguel is sitting over there and the rest will be coming up. But make sure that you connect with these individuals and also their teams who are here today. Make sure that you walk away with a business card, get their contact details so that you can tap into these opportunities. Okay, now we're going to call up our next speaker. Now, our next speaker, ladies and gentlemen, forms a becomes very strategic in terms of your power team. Now, remember I said a power team is any property professional and expert. Now, it's also very important to make sure that you have a good attorney as part of your power team. Because as property investors, we're going to be doing a lot of creative deals as we move forward. Now, Bruno Samar from Samar Attorneys has really been helping a lot of our SAPN members here with very creative deals in terms of how they've been able to move their property goals forward. So if you have come across a deal and you think that there's no way for you to move forward in terms of a legal solution, you best talk to Bruno. He's definitely got some solution that will be able to help you move that transaction forward. So let's call him up, ladies and gentlemen, and give him a huge round of applause.
Thank you, Candace. Good evening, everyone. It's such an honor to be here tonight. I'd like to thank you all for having me here, and to thank SAPN, Candace, and Andrew for organizing such an amazing event. Just as a brief introduction, I think Candace said most of it already, but my name is Bruno. I'm a specialist property attorney from Bruno Samar Attorneys. Bruno Samar Attorneys specializes in litigation, commercial, and property law. We've been doing it for somewhere around 13 years now. Our core focus is to help clients right from the beginning of their property journey. So right from the outset, when they need to structure the vehicles, their companies, their trusts, how they're going to buy these properties, taking into consideration tax efficiency, estate planning, affordability, being able to finance using the banks, asset protection, all of this needs to be taken into account generally before a person starts their property journey, because if they do it later, it sometimes tends to be a problem. We assist clients with the contracts, structuring deals when they enter into joint ventures and loan agreements, naturally the conveyancing process, and obviously property issues. So on that note, today's theme is very, very important. I get the question very often as to how to buy property without actually long when people don't have money to use, so they don't have capital to invest, or potentially they won't get approved for a loan from a bank. But they want to invest, they want to get involved, they want to start creating that wealth and their passive income. They just don't know how. And I'm going to digress for a moment, but a very interesting story is a couple of years back, during a talk I was giving, somebody asked me the question regarding installment sale agreements. And as attorneys, we all learned it. I had done a few up until that point. But actually interacting with this person and starting to try and apply this strategy to an investment strategy landed up teaching me so much. And that's one of the valuable components of a networking event like this, like SAPN, is it's not only about you guys in the audience sitting there learning from experts. The experts learn from you too. We're all learning from each other because we develop from each other. We build on other people's ideas and we create systems and strategies to make things work. So how can one apply the law to the principle or the strategy of using other people's money or not using money at all to invest in property. Now, we are on the clock tonight, so I won't be able to touch on all these points, but the reason I put this up here is so we can get an idea in general on the different strategies and different approaches one can undertake to actually try and buy and invest in property without using their own money. There's a couple that I tend to prefer or that I find rather interesting, and I'm going to touch on them today. So, for example, when we look at the one right there at the bottom, the no financing model, the back-to-back flipping. Now, this is a model as old as time. People have been using it for years. This was one of the first models that I actually started with a lot of my clients. And it's quite simple in nature. And once you get used to it and you understand the risks relating to it, you might actually be able to apply it. Now, you can't apply it in each and every case. It's not a model that you can just go out with and hope that every property will be like this. But it's something that you need to be aware of. And that's the point of setting down all these principles, is so you've got it in your mind, at the back of your mind when you approach a property investment. You know that there's different possibilities out there that you can explore and that you can start asking questions about. So does anyone here know what a back-to-back is? Oh, come on, I know you know what a back-to-back is. All right, so a back-to-back deal is actually rather creative. And just to maybe give you an example, we've got Christian on the one hand and TJ on the other hand. Now, let's say I want to buy a property from Christian, and he wants to sell the property. I negotiate the price. I'm happy with the price, but I can't really afford to pay for it, and I can't afford, or the bank won't give me a loan for it. But I know that TJ wants the property, or I know that I can find a TJ that will buy the property and take it off my hands. So what the back-to-back deal and strategy involves or comprises of is I will try my utmost to be able to find that TJ to sell the property to before I need to perform and pay the purchase price to Christian. So before the property transfers into my name and I need to pay him, I want to finance the deal using TJ, and he's going to buy the property from me. So let's say I buy the property from Christian for $500,000 and I sell it to TJ for $700,000. Maybe I've done a few renovations, maybe not. Maybe it's just that great a deal. I'm going to use TJ's I'm going to take $500,000, I'm going to use it to pay Christian, and I'm going to be able to keep the other $200,000. And that is a real way of doing things. Yeah, exactly. And the thing with it is obviously there's a lot of legalities behind it that one needs to keep in mind, but that's the principle. It's quite as simple as that. From a legal perspective, obviously now one needs to watch out for a couple of things. So for starters, my relationship with Christian, he doesn't know necessarily that I'm going to sell it to TJ, and that's a problem. Because if for some reason I don't find TJ to buy the property, what do I tell Christian? Then I can't perform. Now Christian's angry, maybe there's an estate agent involved that wants to sue me for commission. So you need to be careful, and that's where the contracts come in. You need to make sure that at least draft something in that contract that makes the sale with Christian subject to a sale with TJ. Sometimes you go as far as to tell Christian, listen, you know what, this is actually what I'm doing, but since you can't find a good purchaser, I'll find one, but I'm going to keep the profits that I make from it. But make sure that there's something that protects you against Christian. Same thing applies to TJ. Now TJ buys the property from me, and for some reason the deal with Christian falls through. Then what? Now I've got an angry purchaser that's maybe already started spending money renovating the property, or spent money buying things for the property, or gave notice, or sold his house and is now waiting to move in, and the deal falls through. You also need to protect yourself. So you need to have those disclosures, and you need to have those clauses in the contract that let TJ know that this deal is also subject to another deal taking. I've noticed when they use it for property, and that's the thing. So the Alienation of Land Act allows us to use it for properties. So we can go make an offer, and we can pay off this property over installments over a couple of years. And again, it's quite as simple as that. Now, when would this strategy actually be used? You tend to find that the strategy is popular amongst sellers that are struggling to find buyers at the right price, and amongst buyers who can't, again, don't have the cash from a bank. Can't get a loan from the bank. The nice thing with this strategy is it buys you time. So maybe for 2 years, you'll pay installments. Clean up your credit record. And in 2 years' time, maybe then you'll be able to get a loan from the bank. So this is a mechanism that you can use in order to put yourself in a better position to get that house that you want to get. What we've started doing now with installment sale agreements is you can also apply it as investment strategies. So maybe the purchaser does have money, or the purchaser can get a loan from the bank, but would rather not. You can still buy it using an installment sale agreement if you see that there's cash flow. If you see, apologies, you can sell it. You can sell it using an installment sale agreement if you see that there's cash flow. So you own the property and now you want to sell it. You see a good purchase price. You see someone that's willing to pay high installments and rent on top of it, and it covers your bond. Why wouldn't you want to do that as an investor? It's a really good idea. And as a purchaser, same thing. You buy this property because you don't want to pay the bank, so you'd rather buy it. You don't need to apply for a loan, and you buy the property over time, and then you use the back-to-back or the on-sale strategy, and you find someone else to take it off your hands. So instead of paying installments over 2 years and taking it to your own name, find somebody else. So strategies like this are all important, and the nice thing is you don't necessarily need a lot of money to implement them. It's a nice, easy way to get in and to start your property journey. I'm going to be around for the networking session. If anyone has any questions on any of those other topics or of any other topics that I did speak about, please feel free to come to me.
Awesome. Let's give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for Bruno. And as you can hear, ladies and gentlemen, there are different ways of buying property, isn't it? One is by leveraging OPM, and then another means is also by doing no money down deals or back-to-back deals. Did you hear that? So that means that you don't have to put any money down in order to go into the deal. But it's important for you to know how to tap into the seller, and then of course how to tap into the end buyer. Now Bruno can share some more information with you, so for those of you who would like to consult with him, his contact details are up here. And then also, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who are new to property, so as you can hear, there are different strategies in property. There's the flips where you buy with the intention to sell quickly. There's multi-let. You've heard about back-to-back deals. So for those of you who would really like to learn more about the different property strategies that are available, and of course how you can leverage the OPM to go into those deals, it's important to also make sure that you get the right level of education. Isn't that so? And that's what happened to me in 2014. So I started investing in property in 2009. I didn't have the knowledge and the education. I was just taking chances, gambling, made a lot of mistakes along my journey. And as a result, I also lost a lot of money. But it was really in 2014 when I got the right level of education. And Andrew's also been very strategic in helping me to get the right level of education to help me use these other strategies. So for those of you who are new to property, would like to take advantage of some of these other strategies, but you don't have the right level of knowledge today, Andrew's put together a really awesome online coaching platform that can help you, ladies and gentlemen. So instead of having to meet with someone on a face-to-face basis or having to attend various courses, at different venues over a couple of months, you get to tap into the training from the privacy of your home, and you get to do this online. So you'll be able to learn about all the different strategies that you are able to use in property. Then of course also what type of finance and OPM that you can leverage to use that. So for those of you who don't know about his course, it's propertycoach.online, so www.propertycoach.online. And also if you want some more information, the team is outside, so you're welcome to connect with the team outside as well, and they'll be able to share with you how you're able to tap into that. Okay, now we're going to go. We need a PowerPoint here, Nico. I see your computer's about to shut down, Nico. Oh, goodness. Our lucky evening. Okay, so now we're going to go into a really exciting time of the networking event today. And this is now what we call our speed networking. So what's going to happen now is we're going to have a couple of rounds. We're going to give every person here an opportunity to meet someone else in this audience. Remember, some of you are coming here to find deals. So you're looking for good property deals. Others are looking for investors. Others are looking for finance. So everyone here has got a different need. Isn't that so? But at the end of the day, we want to make sure that when you leave the networking event tonight, that you have connected with at least 3 people where you were able to share some good information and also exchange contact details. So this is what's going to happen now. And I'm just going to call Jen up just so that we can illustrate, if that's okay. Let's give her a round of applause. So she's one of our premier members, so she's familiar with this. So what's going to happen is I'm going to introduce myself. Hi, Jen. My name is Candace, and I'm a property investor, and I'm looking for finance.
Hi, Candace. I'm Jen. I'm a sourcing partner. I particularly look for deals in the West Rand. Is that where you're interested?
Awesome. You see, so, and that's where we will continue the conversation from there onward. So each person or each team of 2 people has got 2 minutes to do that. Introduce yourself. Where are you from? What are you looking for? And then when the music goes off, you go on to the next person, and I will be directing that. Is everyone good with that? Thanks so much, Jen. Let's give her a round of applause. Awesome. Okay, so we're going to start. We've got a clock here that's going to help us just to make sure that you don't spend more than 2 minutes. So basically, each person has got 1 minute to connect with the other person. Okay, so I'm going to ask the DJ just to play some nice vibey music for us just in the background. But ladies and gentlemen, I want you to already stand up and start looking for your person to connect with. And you can use the space here in front. So come to the front. Use the space here in front.
We're an eviction management company. Okay, so you need to move on to the next person so that the clock has already started ticking. So connect with someone else now. Great stuff.
What's up? How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
Okay.
I just want to find out from you. I know you're going to be doing a talk later.
Government
2 minutes is over. Find someone else. Find someone else, ladies and gentlemen, quickly. You've got 1 hour, 46 seconds. How are you doing?
Good. My name is Jeff.
Good.
Yes. Actually,
Find the next person. Move on to the next person. Sit. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, time to find the last person. Time to find the last person.
Tony's also going to pitch his business.
seats now. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you can connect during the break times. We have to get back to our schedule now, gentlemen. So we have to get back to our schedule now. But how many of you agree with me that that was an awesome experience? Can I see a raise of hands? For sure, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm hoping that each of you have at least connected with 3 people this evening. Have you connected with at least 3 people? Can I see a raise of hands? Okay, great stuff. Awesome. So that's really an awesome exercise. Remember, we are here to network as well and meet great context. I'm going to call up Andrew Walker and Miguel Martins just to come up and share with you what's happening in terms of Investor of the Year. I'm sure some of you out there have heard about the Investor of the Year awards this year. So I'm just going to call the 2 of them up quickly, and then they're just going to come and share with you quickly in terms of what is the progress there.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Candace. So let me ask the question. Who here in the last, call it 12 months, maybe 14 or 15 months, has done at least one property deal? Can I see a show of hands? Keep your hands up for me. Keep your hands up if you've entered an Investor of the Year award. Here's the thing. Why do we do this? We do it for encouragement, to show, well, there's a few reasons why we do it. One of them is just to celebrate investors across South Africa. It's to encourage people to enter. Here's the thing, ladies and gents. It doesn't cost you anything. It's for free. And the great thing we have this year, opposed to last year was a massive success, is we have 4 different categories. So whether you're starting out, regardless of your age or your background, and you've just done one property deal, you enter, you tell us about the deal, how you found the deal, what went wrong, what went right, and the only thing that can happen is we're just going to give you help and advice. Then there's a growth. So if you're an investor and you've been buying, and if you're like TJ, doing what, 50 deals in 2 years, did you know that's possible to do 50 deals in 2 years? Put your hands up if you've done 50 deals in 2 years. Give him a round of applause. Right education, right network. So someone like TJ would enter what we call the growth category. Someone who's been buying now, not 50, but you may have bought 3 or 4. Then we have the creative, innovative category where this is where we start doing installment sale agreements or back-to-back deals, or have you heard of assisted sales, where we bring the seller into the deal with us. So we look for how creative were you. And then we have what we call big leagues. So these are guys that have now gone from residential into commercial or development, and they're starting to do bigger and better deals. And the great thing is, ladies and gents, out of all of them, Miguel, can you hold that for me quickly? So there will be trophies and prizes for every category. Now, Miguel, on the evening at 10, now remember this, at 10 p.m. on the 28th of November at what's called the venue in Melrose Arch, the Investor of the Year 2009 will be announced, will get this trophy, and will win a trip for 2 to Mauritius. Fully paid. Can I at least get a round of applause? It's costing me some money. But is that something to aspire to, ladies and gents? And there's going to be cash prizes, there's going to be mentorships, there's going to be coaching, there's going to be a whole way. And the thing is to have some fun with this. Is it fair to say we're all busy doing stuff? Just one evening, let's let our hair loose. And the seats are limited to about 216. And the main headline sponsor of that event is Absa Bank. So maybe just in a couple sentences, Miguel, why have you decided to back us with this event?
Great, Andrew. So thanks so much. So the event is really about inspiring property investors in South Africa. It isn't about the growth points. It isn't about the guys who've been doing it for 15 years and doing really well. I think the winners of the categories won't be there necessarily because they did the biggest deal or had the highest yields. It's about the guys, it's about the investors who embody the spirit of having gone out there, of having put themselves at risk, of having put the effort into finding the interesting deals, of turning them around and making a success of it, and really building towards the aspiration of financial freedom. So really excited to be part of it. I've sat through some of the judging sessions, and it is so inspiring to see how property investors are either doing well for themselves or helping sellers out of a bind and finding win-win solutions, and where the social upliftment and social development is coming out. it's not just about the money that's critical, but it's about the impact that property investment's having around these investors. And it's really great to hear those stories, and we're really looking forward to hearing more of those.
Absolutely. Now, Miguel and everyone else, just to let you know, on Monday, the 21st of October, because entries do close end of the month, between the hours of 3:30 and 6 p.m. on that Monday, if you have done a deal and you'd like to enter, step one, go to the website. There's no cost. It's just an application. We'll review it. Don't worry about being judged. Just worry about actually taking action. We'll contact you, invite you, where we will then, I'll use the word judge you on the evening, and all you're doing for 5 to 7 minutes, I want to know who you are, where was the deal you bought, what were the challenges, tell me the mistakes you made, tell me the successes you've had, and tell us what your plan is, just in 5 to 7 minutes. It's a straightforward, and it'll be a small room. There might be about 7 or 8 of us, so it's not a big platform like this, and it will be like that on stage on the 20th of November, and here's something even cooler. Who wants to hear something cool? Who likes Daytona cars? So guess where Michelle and I are going on Monday to visit Daytona cars in Melrose Arch, Lamborghinis, Rolls Royces. Guess who's part of this event? I said they can be part of the event if I get to drive one of their cars for a day. But I'm still negotiating that. But on a serious note, the judging will happen on Monday, the 21st, and we'll be having some Skype sessions that's ending at the end of October in terms of entries, and then we'll have 12 finalists on the evenings. Now, can I ask Christian Janssen to stand and Bruno Samau to stand? Because these events cost money, ladies and gents, and we wouldn't be able to put these events on without our partners, Bruno Samau, Absa Bank, and Christian Janssen. Give them a big round of applause to say thank you for backing the Investor of the Year award. But I think from my side, Miguel, I just wanted to tell the people why we do it, give them the website, let them know that there's massive prizes, and it's about having fun. Is there anything else from your side?
So, 2 things. First of all, so Investor of the Year, just behind Andrew, Investor of the Year, .co.za. Go there, enter. It's super interesting. The best value for you as an investor is that you get 7 to 10 minutes to spend with Andrew and a couple of the other coaches around the table talking about your investment and what your journey's been like, and where you're going. It's a highly powered couple of minutes where you can get some really good tips and advice. And if you do that, if you only do that for that reason, it's well worth it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Miguel. Thank you, Candice.
Awesome. Now, ladies and gentlemen, how many of you have entered for the Investor of the Year awards? Can I see a raise of hands? Only one lady over there. Is there no one else? Awesome. Let's see more hands, more hands.
Who is going to enter, Candice?
Who's going to be entering? Can I see a raise of hands?
Who is going to enter now?
Great
That's
stuff.
what I like to see.
Okay.
And Raleigh as well. Big leads.
Awesome. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be having our next speaker come up here. And I'm going to be asking Marlene to please make her way to the stage. And she's going to be representing SPA today. So she's also going to be talking to you about opportunities that are currently available for entrepreneurs who are wanting to take on some SPA ventures that are made available to us. So let's just give a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. You can manage it with this.
Okay, good evening, everyone. So it is quite a privilege to be addressing an audience in Soweto. I think if I were to ask you how many of you have a spa in Soweto right on your doorstep, you'd probably answer me no right now. But that's about to change. And hence the reason when Andrew gave us the opportunity to come and chat to you in a forum such as this, I jumped at the opportunity. You're looking at property investment, so you're thinking, well, what exactly does that have to do with SPA? So what I want to tell you about is SPA, the most empowering brand in the country. And what that has to do with this evening is, okay, so you as a property investor, what can SPA do for you? If you have a tract of land, and I'm hearing there's guys in the room with lots of millions, we like to spend that kind of money, we are a blue chip tenant. There isn't a resident in an area that doesn't want a supermarket right on their doorstep. And I'm guessing you residential investors would want to know that there's that convenience for your customer, right? On top of that, who would not, as a property investor, not want SPA as your tenant? And when I say SPA, I want to get to explaining to you about our brands, and my builded colleagues over here are getting a bit nervous thinking, well, why aren't you telling them about us? Now, how many of you in this room even knew that Builded was part of SPA? Okay. So what I want to do is also introduce to you why it is that SPA is the empowering brand and why I'm saying we're the best people to bring into this kind of environment in the township, because I think part of what our country is talking about at the moment is a narrative where us big chains, the perception is about all of us big grocery players, we're coming into the township market and we're simply taking up ownership of everything, right? So it looks like we're going to bring a big corporate, take up a store and put somebody out of business. And that's where the empowerment comes from. So what I want to tell you about is what SPA is and why that's different. So a little known fact is that SPA was established back in 1932. And it is in fact a brand that started in the Netherlands. Adrian van Vel, very much like the entrepreneurs that are in this room, and I'm guessing in and around the township market, actually saw the opportunity for a whole lot of independent traders to band together in a buying group, pool their resources, and actually take on the chains. Okay? So that's where the SPA name came from. The SPA, I'm not going to go through all the Dutch because my Dutch really sucks, but it basically means that we all benefit from united cooperation. SPA has an international profile. So I spoke to Miguel earlier, and it's quite surprising how many people will go overseas and then suddenly they know I work for SPA, and I get a WhatsApp, Marlene, I found a SPA somewhere. So here's a fact. SPA is in 48 countries around the world. We have a footprint in excess of 12,700 stores, and we employ probably 250,000 people and generate a retail revenue of about 34.5 billion euros. Now, if you consider what the euro is trading to the rand, that's some serious money. What you don't know is that most of that is independently owned. It's not actually generated by the corporate. In South Africa, the brand started in 1962. It was launched in 63 and started in KZN for the same reason that it launched in the Netherlands, is that a whole lot of the independent operators wanted to take on the chains. So they banded together in a buying group, entrepreneurs as they were, and then they started the company that is SPA today. I'm not going to jump into all of the detail, but these are some of the logos and how it developed. What you will see at the bottom here is where we are today. So when you get in and around town and you see Build It, well, the guys there will tell you we're part of the SPA group. We have a pharmacy brand that is rolling out quite successfully, over 100 stores countrywide. And in addition to which, we have a smaller model that is a little bit more loose and fast, which is something we want to bring into our township model, is the Save Malls. There's some more of our logos and in-store offerings. I'm not going to get into that. SPA South Africa today trades out of 6 divisions. Ours in South Rand is the biggest, and we service about 900 stores countrywide. It's a little known fact, but we have the single biggest retail footprint. In other words, we have the most shops in the whole of South Africa. Now, the other thing that will surprise you is of that 950 odd, we only own, as SPA South Africa, 22 of them. So what that tells you is that every single SPA store that you see out there, the vast majority of them, don't belong to us. And that's why we're the empowering brand. So we come into places like the local township and we find opportunities with property investors who are looking for a tenant. We find a retailer. We will often assist them with funding, and we put people into business. That's our business. We are the second biggest license holder in SPA International in South Africa. So why that's important is SPA South Africa owns the shares in Ireland, in England, in Switzerland, in Sri Lanka, the whole of Southern Africa. So why that's important is when you see those stores, we bring an international element. We're actually part of a bigger group, but it's all independent owned. And please, you just need to stop me if I'm going too quickly. I'm again not going to get into too much of the structure because Candace threatened me with my life. But the point is, SPA South Africa itself is actually a wholesaler. We are the single biggest supplier to our stores. We sell them the stock. There's a company called the Guild, which owns the brand. So let's say you belong to a football club. You pay your subscription. I don't know whether I should say it's Chiefs or Pirates or whoever your flavor is. Let's go with Liverpool because that's mine. So if you pay your subs to the club, you're entitled to wear the badge, you're entitled to use the club facilities, right? You get all the privileges. Now, same thing with SPA. We aren't a franchise, so we don't control everything. It's a voluntary trading organization. You pay the fee to the Guild to be able to use the signs, participate in our brand, get all of the services and membership, and ultimately then the SPA group will supply you with your stock. So that at a high level is what SPA is about. This is our quite involved but yet very, very simple strategy. So again, Candace, thanks, I'll rush through it. But really what SPA is about is our vision is that we want to be the first choice brand in the communities that we serve. Now, that for a second I want you to contemplate because that's what it's about when you're coming into any market. We are a community-based business. We thrive on actually supporting our retailers to get involved with the communities, which is why when you talk to me about any store, and I don't know if anybody wants to throw a local store at me, let's talk about Katlehong. When we talk about that store, I'm not going to talk about Katlehong Spa. I'll talk to you about Dan Maluleki, because Dan's our operator. He's the independent retailer. His family have run the business for well over 30 years, and that's really what Spa is about. So they become entrenched in their community. They know their churches, they know their schools, they know everything. That's what our brand is about. In addition to that, we, as our purpose, want to inspire people to do and be more. Now, in South Africa and all the challenges we have today, I mean, there's nothing better for me as the new business head, and there's my very capable team sitting over there, is to go and take an entrepreneur and find a way to find a key site, place them in business, help them with some funding, and ultimately see them and their families thrive in a business under our brand. So that's really what it's about, is inspiring people to do and be more. Everything in our business is underpinned by our values: passion, entrepreneurship, and family values. Everything we do is around exactly that. Entrepreneurs, I don't know, it's pretty difficult to deal with people who want to do their own thing when you're a corporate. It's very easy to walk in the store and say, well, I don't like your signage, I think you need to change that. We don't get to do that in our business. We get to convince them that it's a good idea, because have you ever dealt with an entrepreneur? I know I'm looking at a whole lot of you, which is why I'm here telling you, if you're looking for Spa, I'm the person. Our supply chain, I'm not going to get into that because, again, it's how the stock flows. We supply mainly to our stores. I've already explained about the voluntary trading model. So all of our guys belong to Spa like you belong to a club voluntarily. You pay your subscription fee or your membership. You get to wear the badge, carry the brand, and enjoy all the benefits. So we don't dictate to somebody. We don't lock them in. They need to come in. We obviously have very high standards, and we like to think we're an aspirational brand. We don't trade down. So when we come into the township market or we're going into the Sandton market, it's exactly the same standard of store that we want to offer. And it's also about our service. Our customers and everything are really why we exist. So that's why, for us, we are the community-based empowering brand. To tell you a bit about our division, our facility in Jet Park, and if you ever want to come and visit and go on a warehouse tour, Mandisa will tell you it's quite impressive. We basically will service all of our 250 plus Spa stores from there, 24/7, 365. We own our own fleet. They cover about 650,000 kilometers a month, delivering to retail to make sure your stock is on the shelf. And that comes out of a 60,000 square meter operation in Jet Park. So the reason I'm giving you all of this high-level information is to impress on you that, number one, you're dealing with a massive organization. We're a big brand. We're international. We're basically underwritten and underpinned by all the values that South Africans stand for. So now you come back to the point, well, women, why are you on the stage talking to SA property investors? So I say again, if you own a piece of land and you're looking for a development partner or somebody to put in a business that is definitely guaranteed to thrive and does so, and you'll see our market share and results very shortly, then we're the people to look at. We're also the empowering brand. So you as an investor, if you're looking to become an operator in Spa, again, talk to my guys, it's what we do. We put people in business under our brand. So you not only own your property, but you're able to then also trade a retail business that is an international household name. And that, in essence, is really what I came to tell you about for Spa, because, again, Candace threatened me with my life.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give her a round of applause. Marlene, that was awesome. I mean, less than 10 minutes, and you really shared a wealth of information with us, so thank you so much. I would just ask if you can maybe just ask your team if you can just stand up, please, if we can just see you all. Okay, so this is Marlene, and this is her team. Ladies and gentlemen, this is an awesome opportunity that has come to your area. I spoke to a gentleman earlier on. You said to me that you've got a piece of land and you're not too sure what to do with it. So I think this is definitely something for you to consider as well. But during the breaks, please go to Marlene and her team and then see what the opportunities are. You heard that they say they also assist you with funding, isn't it? So understand all the requirements, understand how the process is going to work. This could be a potential opportunity for you as an entrepreneur and also as an investor. Why? Because you own the land, isn't that so? Okay, so, yeah?
Just one thing. I've cut the presentation short. You'll see a whole lot of pictures just really of the stores. And for this time's sake, if you want to have a look at it, please get onto our websites because you'll see pretty much everything else that's left in there.
Awesome, great stuff. Let's give another round of applause. Thanks, Marlene, that was awesome. Really good information. Okay, so these are just some of the pictures that I'm just going through. Okay, great stuff. Let's give another round of applause. I forgot to mention earlier on that there is a Isuzu double cab bakkie. Apparently your lights are flickering. The registration number is YBF886GP. So I'll just say that again, YBF886GP. So if it belongs to any of you here, maybe you just want to go and have a look. We don't want you to have a flat battery when you leave the event this evening. Okay, so YBF886GP. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, now we're going to be giving our premier members an opportunity really to come and share with you what their business opportunity is this evening. Now, we briefly mentioned earlier on that for those of you who are interested in becoming SAPN Premier members, the team are outside. They've got all the information available for you. But this is part of the value add that you really get. So at all our SAPN events, you can then come up, you take the stage, and you are able to pitch whatever your offering is for that particular evening, whether you are looking for funding, whether you've got a deal, whatever it may be, it's part of your membership. So for those of you who would like to learn more about the Premier membership, the team are at the back and they will be able to help you get started with that. But we're going to be calling up Shane Roger as our first Premier member. Is he here this evening? Can I see a raise of hand? Okay. Please come up, gentlemen. Let's give them a round of applause. Are you both going to be talking?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hi guys, my name is Matt and this is Shane from Kuro Property Group. Our mission for our company is to become the single biggest real estate investment company in the world, in the history of the universe in fact. And we'd like for every single investor in this room to come on a journey with us. We've got deals and plenty of them. And deal by deal, we're going to be making our way towards our mission. So, I just want you to listen very carefully to the deal that we've got, one of the many that Shane's about to tell you, and hear about how you can join us on our journey. Shane?
Evening, ladies and gentlemen. So as Matt said, if you're going to achieve big, you better dream big. So with regards to one of the deals that's in Kensington B, we're looking for about 750,000 Rand. It's going to be a multi-let opportunity for those people who are looking for cash flow or to come on board as capital investors. We're offering the opportunity to JV with us and then achieve cash flow with us and split it about 50-50. You're looking at about 15,000 Rand a month cash flow net. Now, it's not gross, it's net. At the end of everything, all expenses, you're looking at about 15,000 Rand. So we're looking for either someone to come on as JV and split the capital with us, or to come on board and spend about 25,000 Rand and we'll pay back 20% per annum on that.
Guys, I know there's a lot of you out there that are hesitant about where you'd like to invest your money, especially with the property market the way it is now. So basically what we're telling you is that when we eventually reach our mission one day, you guys can look back and say, I was with them there from the beginning. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great stuff. So that's 750 that you're looking for, gentlemen?
Yeah, we'll entertain investments from 25,000 up.
Okay, great stuff. You heard that. So please get in touch with them during the breaks and get all the information should you be interested. Okay, and then we've got our next Premier member who will be coming up. So I'm going to be calling Genevieve Stafford Jack to the stage. If she can please just come up. Let's give her a round of applause.
I don't even need a mic. I got built-in subwoofers. How you guys doing? Good. I've got 3 deals on the table. One deal is not really on the table. It's TJ. Like, his name has just been said so much today. I'm like, he's mine, guys. Sorry. The deals that are for sale on the table, I am looking for investors that are HMO, multi-let, students accommodation, and Airbnb investors. If you ticked any of those boxes, I've got 2 deals. One is in Northcliffe and one is in Melville. Potentially you will walk away with 26, no, that's the flip part. Potentially you will walk away with between 18 and 25% passive income. And if you do decide, you know, for some strange reason you want to do a flip, then you'll be able to walk away with between 26 and 44%. I was just putting those percentages up here because I'm dealing with one deal too many at the moment. So if you fit into that category, but you're specifically looking for passive income, talk to me at the break and I'll give you a lot more details.
Thanks, Jen. Just mention the categories again. So just mention them again.
HMO, that is the house. HMO, multi-let, Airbnb, and students' accommodation. We were taught that we don't find deals, we create them. And that's why it will fall under one of these 4 passive income stream categories.
Awesome. Let's give a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. So that's Jen Stafford Jack. So please connect with her during the breaks. And as you heard, sorry ladies, TJ's already been taken. Okay, now we're going to be calling our next speaker up. So we're going to be calling Silendile Leseyani. If you can please just come up and come and share your deal with us. So she's got I see you've got 2 slides here, Silendile. So it's just going to be about 60 seconds, hey? Okay. You sure? Okay.
Hi everyone, my name is Lindile. I'm a co-founder of a property stokvel called Sakisizo Property Stokvel. And what we do basically is, as you've heard, some of the investors here and some of the people that are in property, they find deals and then they look for passive investors to invest with them. But usually the amounts that are required are quite high, as you've heard, amounts from millions that are in the room and all of that. But not all of us have a million or hundreds of thousands to invest in property. So the property stokvel is one of the ways that you are still able to tap into the property market, starting from as little as 2,500 Rand a month or a once-off amount of 10,000 Rand upwards. So we work with M5 Property Addicts, which TJ is part of, as well as Bruno, who's our legal partner, and we use a platform called Stokvela for the management of the funds and the administration. If you need more information about this, onto the next slide, please, Candace. Yeah, you can get in touch with us. I think most of you guys are on Facebook, so the easiest way is just to go onto our Facebook page and follow us and like us, and then you'll find out about how to join. And we normally have events where we share information about how the Stokvel works. Candace has been at one of our guests at one of our events as well. So they're usually very informative. So yeah, please just follow our page and you'll get more information. Thank you.
Awesome. Let's give a round of applause. So very creative ways of how we are able to invest in property, isn't that so? So I definitely encourage you also during the breaks, connect with Silendile, and then you'll be able to hear more about the opportunity. And now I'm also going to be opening up the floor just to any other Premier members who are here who would like to take the stage and just come and share. Okay, we've got Tony over here. Let's give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Great stuff. Thanks, Tony.
Hi, guys. If you don't understand what I'm talking about, it must have been my accent, so don't worry about it. My name is Tony Ninkovic. I'm all the way from Serbia. What about to tell you? And I spoke to Mrs. Jack here and Mr. Jack here. So what I want to hear, all of you people here, you have some investment properties and speak to gentlemen outside, is then I'm a person who wants to talk. Because what's happening in 2 weeks' time, guys, is 18 and 19 of, it's a private property show, which is absolutely 10,000 people going to walk in and look for deals. Now, I don't know how many of you think it's 10,000. It's a lot of people. So what's going to happen is we're going to have a stand there, and with Bruno Brokerage, Bruno says hi to everybody. With Bruno Brokerage, what we're going to do, we're going to actually present a deal there with no cost. There's no cost to you at all. What we're going to do, we're going to open your deals to 10,000 people. Who likes some of that? But raise your hands. Now, I don't think you understand what I'm talking about. We're going to open the deals that 10,000 people will see it. Who likes some of that? But raise your hands. So what I'm talking to guys, if you want to see what we're going to do for you, just come talk to me privately. If you have a good deal, when you're willing to put your deal to our stands on a private property show, and 10,000 people will grab it, then come talk to me. Thank you.
Awesome. Let's give him a round of applause. Thank you, Tony. Wow, so definitely a lot happening at SAPN, isn't that so? For sure. So please connect with Tony during the breaks as well. I think that's a huge opportunity, presenting your deal to an estimate of about 10,000 people, all looking for opportunities. So great stuff. Now, ladies and gentlemen, before we go into a short break, I'd just like to just take you through our membership options. So we have briefly spoken about them throughout the evening.
but I just want to take you through the various packages that we've got available. So as you can see, we do have the free option that is available. So as Michelle mentioned earlier on, please just connect with us. It's joinsappen.com. Is that it? Joinsappen.com. So how many of you have already connected on joinsappen.com? Okay, and then remember, please also remember to take your photos and tag us on Facebook. And remember, we still have these awesome prizes that we need to give out before the end of the evening. So do connect with us. We also have the silver membership that is available to you at only 97 Rand per month, ladies and gentlemen. And then, of course, the premium membership at 247 Rand per month. So it's very affordable. And for those of you who are not premium members yet, it really is an awesome opportunity. You have access to a lot of information, training opportunities. You get to share the stage with a lot of the speakers at the events as well, where you are able to pitch some of your deals. But for today, we also have a special offer. So for all of you who will be enrolling on your premium membership today, you will be getting the special offer of 2,500 Rand. So that is a significant saving that you will be getting tonight. But if you want to know more, if you want to learn more about how to become a member, whether it's a free member, a silver member, or premium member, please connect with the team outside. Simone is there, the rest of the team are there, and they'd be able to just talk you through the different packages and what is available. And ladies and gentlemen, we're now going to be going into our networking break. So we're going to have about 20 minutes. Andrew, I believe there's some refreshments outside, so please do help yourself to some refreshments. And then after 20 minutes, please do come back into the presentation. We do still have Victor all the way here from Umstandi, who's a subsidiary of TUF, and he will be giving you an awesome presentation in terms of how they're also able to help township housing opportunities move forward here. And then we've got Raleigh, who's also an amazing serial entrepreneur and investor, and he'll also be able to share with you as part of his slot right at the end. So we still have two awesome speakers who will be coming up. So please, 20 minutes, and then I'll see you back here. Thanks, ladies and gentlemen.
Laying next to you at night, watching you when you sleep. I am your source of strength when it all falls down and you're on your knees. And when the day comes and everybody's gone, you can call me your friend. I'll be here for your new beginnings, and I'll be here in the end, here in the end. I am the shining star you see at night when you're in the storm. I am the beating heart that's by your side when you're in my arms. And when the day comes when everybody's long gone, I'm watching you sleep. You
don't have to worry if you got my heart. It's yours to keep, yours to children. We all breathe in the same sun. We all sleep under the stars at night. We know that we are one. There is love for all God's children. We all breathe in the same sun. We all sleep under the stars at night. We know that we are one. And shout out in the street. to see. I hope I can make it away to see. You shouldn't suffer this way to see. I hope I can make it I wanted to say you shouldn't suffer this way to see. I hope I can take it away to see. You shouldn't suffer this way to see. I hope I can take it. I wanted to say you shouldn't suffer this way to see. I hope I can take it away to see. You shouldn't suffer this way to see. divine, one of a kind, something beautiful, running your life. You're so special, truly special, multiracial, never let it go. Been given time in my life to make it right. Live your life, you're divine, one of a kind. You truly something special. 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 Do wetu, utando lwetu, namakubo wetu, sonke skapi. Do wetu, utando lwetu, namakubo wetu, sonke skapi. Do betu, utando lwetu, namakubo wetu, sonke skapi. Do betu, utando lwetu, namakubo wetu, sonke skapi.
Am I on? Am I on? Okay, great stuff. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Did you enjoy the refreshments? Did everyone get to eat something at least? I hope so. That's awesome. Now we're going to be continuing with the rest of our presentation for today. But I think before we get into our next speaker, we've had a lot of learnings this evening, isn't that so? Okay, so I want you to find one person next to you and just share with them what your biggest learning has been today. So just share with them one thing that you will be walking away with here. Just whilst we wait for everyone else to come back into the room. Awesome. So I think that's good. Thanks so much. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be asking our next speaker to make his way to the stage. Now, the next gentleman, ladies and gentlemen, is the portfolio manager for Umstandi. And this is a product that TURF has got available for property investors who are looking to take advantage of opportunities in the township. So I believe it's very relevant for our audience here this evening. So for those of you who would also like to take advantage of opportunities in the townships, there are lots of opportunities, and today you're going to be learning how we are able to move those opportunities forward. So I'm going to ask Victor Mteta just to come up, please, and just come and present to us today. Let's give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Good evening.
Is it on?
Good evening. Yeah, my name is Victor Mateta. I'm a portfolio manager to Umastandi. I've never done this before, so please be gentle. Yeah. Most of you might have heard of the word Umastandi. If you are from the township, you know Umastandi. So let me quickly give you a background story about us, the Umastandi story. To an outsider, South African townships can seem dusty, unorganized, intimidating, and run down. But to those in the know, they all possess a complex character, a unique set of challenges, a fascinating history, and a special story to tell. The truth is, if you scratch beneath the surface, you'll find they are all alive with energy. They are in a state of constant flux. And to those with a keen eye and an ear to the ground, they present an opportunity around every corner. At Umastandi, our people are always digging deeper, looking further, and seeing things from a different perspective. Where others see chaos and lack of hope, we see potential for growth. Where others see high unemployment and limited potential, we see opportunity for growing successful businesses and thriving communities. We see a chance for township enterprises and township entrepreneurs to flourish. It's because of our mindset and willingness to engage, our years of first-hand experience and unconventional insight, that we are able to recognize new opportunities when we see it. And to extend our knowledge and business enterprises to catalyze the growth of township entrepreneurs. And it's because of our committed involvement, working every step with our clients, that we aim to help and realize the vision and turn the dreams into reality. At the end of the day, what set Umastandi apart is our ability to see what others don't see. Umastandi is part of the TURF group, and we are TURF NPC is a shareholder, a 100% shareholder of Umastandi. TURF has been involved in property finance in the inner cities of South Africa. TURF has 16 years experience in the property market. So Umastandi comes into this sector of the market with the experience and backing of TURF. We launched Umastandi in 2015, and we have approved so far over 29 projects in Soweto. We also have a presence in Cape Town, Khayelitsha, Mandalay, and those other areas. We've approved over 10 projects up to date. Each site, for example, 8 to 22 units a site, because we are all about densifying and infilling. We hate urban sprawl. So our average loan size is around 890. So areas that we have investors in, in Cape Town we have Delft, Mandalay and Khayelitsha. In Soweto is basically the entire Soweto. We have one very special project in Spreadview. For people in the East End, you can see it from the freeway if you are driving into Spreadview. What is Umastandi? Umastandi is a mortgage financer. We fund, as I said earlier, multi-let units, and we also assist in training, mentorship to qualifying entrepreneurs. What we offer is mortgage finance. We also assist for starter clients with mentorship and training. And we also handhold in terms of when you start now doing your construction. We'll recommend contractors and will assist in your general project management from plan submission up to letting up. There are 5 easy steps for qualifying individuals or individuals that have this entrepreneurial spirit. So, number 1, we are looking for individuals with passion and want to invest in the township. You have to have a good credit record. Your property must be big enough for you to be able to build rental units. Step 2 is the feasibility. So we assist individuals who are maybe starter entrepreneurs in doing a feasibility, and also give you general direction of how to approach your specific project. The application process, or step 3, the application process is more or less similar to most financial institutions. You complete an application form and do a credit check and stuff. Step 4, building your rental units. As I said, we will assist you with that process. And letting up, that's step 5, letting up and property management. We'll give you training and mentorship in that regard. So our areas, it's, as I said earlier, Soweto, in Cape Town is Khayelitsha, Masiphumelele, and Mandalay. The reason we came into this space, we saw an opportunity, and an opportunity based on that there was no one specifically focusing on multi-lets and backyard rooms, basically. And some of our competitors, you've got your African Bank, Standard Bank, Mashonisa, Cash Build, and Build It. And some of we saw that some of individuals who are based in the township are doing these projects themselves, but they tend not to provide a well-built product, and so that's why Umastandi is now a player in the township. Basically, this is the list of what it takes to be Umastandi. Everyone can read. and then our ideal Umastandi clients. So if you earn an income outside of the township, a small scale landlord, or have inherited a house from parents or any other family member, and they are looking into investing into multi-let units, we will assist you. Any entrepreneur who is based outside of the township but is interested in investing in the township can also approach us. And we also are funding your traditional Umastandi, your living landlord, an individual who's based in the township, lives on the property, and just wants to use their asset as an income generating asset. That's my story, and thank you.
Awesome. Let's give him a round of applause. Thank you so much. Victor, if you can maybe just stay on the stage just for a little bit. I just want to open the platform just to some questions that the audience might have, if that's okay with you. Okay. So are there any questions just with regards to what's available through Umstandi? Anyone out there? Okay, the gentleman over there. What's your name, sir?
My name is Sandile.
Yeah?
There were 3 areas that you were looking at. It was Soweto, Eastern, and Cape Town. Are there any other areas that you're looking at within the Eastern?
We have still not finalized internally if we will be doing other areas, but I know in our conversations internally that we have looked at Vosloorus, Tembisa as our next focus areas. So if you are looking into investing in Tembisa or Vosloorus or Spruitview, I think within the next year we'll be funding those areas.
Okay.
But if you have a deal currently in Tembisa, let's talk and see if I can't push it.
Okay, anyone else? Gentleman over there?
No, that's an average of loans that we've approved now. So we lend from 1 rand to 5 million per project. If you want a mortgage loan for 1 rand, you can come through. It's 5 million per project. So you can come back for more than one project. Yeah.
And then in terms of the sizes of your units, do you have, for instance, let's say it's social because they have a 20 but in your case, to specify?
Not really. We don't really specify, but we want you to be in line with township regulations. You know, for example, you can't have a unit smaller than, I think it's 9 square meters. Yeah. So, and if there's a market for whatever that you are proposing, so you can have your room with shared ablutions or bachelor units or 1-bedroom unit or 2-bedroom units. That's up to you if you think there's a market. And
Okay, just that gentleman over there first, and then we'll move on to the lady over there. I think it's Clement. Is it Clement?
I like the idea of what we're talking about, the money side of it, densification and being able, to sweat the assets within the environment here. And like you say, there are already players who are not as formalized as you are. People just doing it themselves, and the quality of the product is not appropriate. And now with yourselves also adding to that, my question is, what about the services? Are the services able to cater for this high densification as it is?
yeah, okay. Currently, in the township of Soweto, we know that the services can carry. Unless you are going for something that's bigger than what we intend on funding, you know, if it's a big project, then you will have to factor that in when you come to us to say you will need bulk services and you want that to be part of your loan facility. But with the current infrastructure, we know that it can carry that load.
Okay, so I'm assuming there will be some sort of a feasibility process or due diligence process where you'll be assessing the type of deals that are coming to you and see if it is within your scope and if the current services can accommodate that.
Yeah.
Okay, so there will be a process, of course, for the application. Just the lady over there, the one before I come to you, then that will be our last question. Just the lady behind her first, and then we'll come to you.
I just want to ask, what are the cost implications in terms of the interest?
Okay.
Just,
Yeah. We have an interesting because of there is no other player in the market doing specifically what we do, and the risk that's inherent within the market. We charge a rate of prime plus 4.5. But remember, this is not, the funding is not based on your income. This is from your projected cash flows. So if your project, for example, is able to meet our hurdles, your debt cover of 1.3, and you are able to pay your services and are left with a profit from day one, that's when we'll fund. We'll not fund any project that the risk is only with you as a client. So firstly, the feasibility that we do, it's we model financially if this project is viable for both of us, you know, us as a funder and you as a client, that you are making money from day one.
Okay, thanks for that. Let's just ask the lady.
Sorry, 3 more questions.
No, sorry, ma'am, we don't have enough time. Can I ask you that during the break, if you can maybe just connect with him, and then you'll be able to answer those questions.
And our website is umastandi.co.za, and you can get some information. Okay.
I just wanted to find out, so if I do not have inheritance from Ukoko, but I'm interested in buying Soweto and turn the house into a multi-let, would Mastandi still assist, or they only look for people that have inheritance?
Yeah, no, it's not necessarily inheritance, whether you own or, yeah. All you need in your case is an equity contribution of around 20% on the purchase price. Then we'll fund 80% and the construction.
Okay, cha-ching. So ladies and gentlemen, let's give Victor another round of applause. Awesome. Thank you so much, Victor. You did a good job. Thank you so much. So for those of you who want to just obtain more information, it's umastandi.co.za. And then also, Michelle will also be mailing out communications tomorrow with all the speakers' contact information. So for those of you who have further questions and you maybe don't get them addressed here tonight, there is still an opportunity to connect with all the speakers after the event. Is that good with everyone? But I think it's definitely an opportunity, and especially for those who have home businesses at the moment, you hear that they're giving opportunities for those types of ventures as well. So if you currently have a business that you're running from your own property, or you know someone who is doing that and they would like to expand that particular venture, then I think this is definitely another platform for us to tap into. Isn't that so? For sure. Okay, now, ladies and gentlemen, how are we tracking on our hashtags? Michelle, how are we looking? Very slow and very few. Very slow. And very few free members. Clearly, people aren't interested in ebooks, free webinars. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be giving you 2 more minutes now. We're going to be playing some background music just softly in the background, just for you to go onto our page. It's joinsappin.com. Please connect there.
Also go onto the SA Property Investors Network page, hashtag SAPNGP. Start connecting with us. Remember, we have some gifts to give away this evening, isn't that so? So come on, let's just play some background music in the background, just 2 minutes or so.
Forgive me, Father. I just want to tell you straight away. I have fallen from grace. This is my confession. I just can't forgive me, Father. I just want to tell you that I love you. I just want to speak for mine. This is my confession. I just can't so forgive me, Father.
Hey, I see people are still busy. That's good. That's good. Join sapn.com, and then on Facebook, SA Property Investors Network, hashtag SAPNGP.
About the slides, we can just talk about it. But you want me to mention it now before I get ready to
After you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to continue. Thank you so much for that. So I can see you all have taken out your phones. So Michelle, you should be getting some cool pics coming through. So that's great. After Rali's talk, we will be doing the prize winning. So for those of you who have been participating, some of you will be walking away with some awesome prizes. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be calling up our next speaker, and he's really an amazing person, Rali Mampele. Am I saying it right? Mampele. And he really comes from humble beginnings, and he will also be sharing with you his journey. And I think from his talk, we also really want, for those of you who are starting out, we also want you to know that this is possible, that you can start small and you can eventually, you know, become the serial entrepreneur and investor, and that's really what he's become. So he comes from humble beginnings. Him and I were just talking earlier on, and he shared with me that his first business that he had was selling boerewors rolls next to, when he was on campus, isn't that so? So he was studying his BCom degree, and he started selling boerewors rolls as his way into entrepreneurship. And that was also a means for him to generate income. And I mean, from there, he's just progressed to where he is today. So he's done some amazing deals. He's got some amazing ventures that he's currently involved in, and he's going to be sharing all of that with you. But I guarantee you that by the end of his talk, you'll definitely walk away feeling more inspired and feeling that even though you are starting out in your journey, you too are able to start property investing and start moving yourself forward. So let's give him a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Awesome. Thanks.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for the lovely introduction. It's good to be here in Soweto. So I come from a township called Davidton. Sibizuguti Vuta. So I don't know, how many of you are really from Soweto? Oh, fantastic. So I'm going to speak a little bit. Is the presentation here? Is the actual presentation here? Just get to the page, yeah. So, look, guys, I'm just going to, I know this is called, this shift is a hard one. Everybody wants to go home. So I won't take much time, but I just thought Andrew has said to me, I must come and join and share a little bit of my story of what I've done in the sector. So I started real estate about 18 years ago when I was 20, and I was working and selling Biravos rolls on the side of the road while I was doing my BCom with UNISA part-time, so that I can be able to get some money to be able to drive around and be able to go to school and pay for my own education. But also, I was fortunate enough to have been in an opportunity where I met a gentleman by the name of Charles Everett, who owns a company called Ches Everett. It's one of the big real estate companies in the country. And he actually gave me an opportunity to get into the real estate space. I started as a person who was doing drops for flyers in different areas around Bryanston. I then asked Mr. Charles Everett if I can become a full-time estate agent and sell properties. He then gave me an opportunity to work as a full-time estate agent. Fast forward, I then asked him, after 3 years, I asked him if I can be able to have an opportunity to look at buying one of his franchises in Midrand. That's where I was staying. And he then agreed that I can be able to buy a franchise. Now, I didn't have the money to buy the actual franchise because it's almost like when you're buying a McDonald's. At that time it was close to R1 million to be able to buy a franchise of the equivalent of Ches Everett. So I then went, I think at that time I was about 23. He then agreed. I said to him, I'll then get investors. And I think this is where the portion of using other people's money comes in. And I think what Bruno was saying is quite true. You can use other people's money. I know that the actual word using other people's money sounds a bit dodgy, but it's actually not a bad practice. You can be able to do that. So I then got the CEO of Ches Everett Franchise Group to say, look, I'll give you 20% shareholding of the business, but I'll then be able to do sales, and within the space of a year, I would have managed to pay back the R1 million franchise fee. But the 20% shareholding that I'm giving to the franchise, the CEO of the franchise of Ches Everett, his name was Barry Davis, is that he must then come up with about 250,000 rand working capital. And he then brought that money into the business. I went and I started the actual business. And within a space of a year, I was fortunate enough to have been in a position where, and at that time I was driving my mom old run-up Cressida because she just retired as a teacher. And because I was selling houses, I needed to have transportation, so I used her car to be able to get from one place to the next place. But I was fortunate enough, I met a gentleman by the name of Jerry Baker, and he was a good developer in Midrand. He was from Israel and really passionate about real estate. He had a development that he was selling for about 26 million rand, but it was individual units that I had to sell as an estate agent. I then saw the opportunity that there was about 100,000 rands per unit that he was not putting into his numbers. And I said to him, Jerry, you need to get, this property is undervalued. He said, no, I'm great. I've done my numbers. They're adding up. Please proceed to sell because I want to sell quick. And during that time, it was around when the property boom was really high. And what was happening is that this was before the NCA, the National Credit Regulator kicked in. So what that meant, it meant that with one salary, you could be able to buy, and I think there were some bankers here, if they're still here, during those time, you could be able to buy 4 or 5 properties with one salary. Okay? And a lot of people took advantage of that. Now, I then saw an opportunity. I then gave Jerry a 26 million rand offer, and I think I was 23 years old, driving an old Cressida, and he said to me, well, where are you going to get the money? I said, well, don't worry about that. Can you give me 90 days? I'll continue to market the properties, but sell to my, then it was close corporation, sell to my CC the whole development for 26 million rand, and I'll give you your guarantees within 90 days. He then said, no, I won't be able to do that, but if you get an investor, I can look at something like that. I went, my brother was a CEO of a parastatal company. I said to Kuto, can you please help me to become part of this transaction so that we can make an offer to him? But you don't need to bring any of your money. I just need your name because he'll then be able to believe that I can actually buy the properties. He then agreed when I came with another partner, which was my brother. He accepted my offer. I then went and I tried to empower other people by basically teaching them that you can be able to, with one salary, buy a few units. So I went to different people that I've worked with, some musicians and investors, and I remember one of them was Yvonne Chaka Chaka. She wanted to get into real estate, and a few of those people then bought 4 or 5 units, and I was then be able to, in a space of 60 days, be able to get 26 million rand into a trust account like Bruno's trust account, and that attorney then prepared one guarantee to give to Jerry Baker for the 26 million rand within less than 60 days. Thank you for that. But again, that is the principle of saying how do you use other people's monies. So it does not necessarily have to be the 50,000 rand that they have that they must give it to you to do business, but you can empower them, show them how to do certain things, and they can then be able to help you to achieve your dream. So just to tell you, you can add the numbers. There was a couple of units. We had then made a profit of 6 million rand at 23, and I then charged him commission for selling the 26 million rand deal. and there we were, and we had close to 7 million rand, and then I was then able to pay back the Chairs Everett franchise fee. I was then able to expand on the franchises and bought a few other franchises, and a couple of years later I then sold the franchises back to the Everett, and I started my own business called Padima Group Holdings. But I then went outside and basically bought a couple of land in different areas, which were still agricultural, around Midrand, Ekurhuleni, Davidson, where I used to come. And 7 million rand could be able to get you a lot of other things, you know, at that point in time. And those were still agricultural piece of land, and then I could be able to pick them up at a good price. Of course, I was a youngster. I bought myself nice cars and all of that. But because I was coming from a background of real estate, I knew that it was very important for me to keep some of the money into real estate. So that is my little story. Today, we then, 18 years later, but this is what is important. I mean, I was listening to, I went to one of the meetings where the guy was saying that, you know, people see the glory, but they don't see the story. So it takes time. So it took me 18 years to be where we are today. But this year, July 2019, I launched a fund called the South African Housing and Infrastructure Fund. But this baby fund is a 15.3 billion rand fund that we've launched to the market. And the aim of this real estate, if you get a bond, you need to pay it over a period of time. But basically, I'm quite excited. I mean, I won't bore you guys about the details of what I've done and where I've studied, but I'll just tell you a quick joke that says that, how do you know if somebody's a vegan? They tell you. How do you know if somebody studied at Harvard? Okay, good. So I studied at Harvard, and with me doing the program, people opportunity to be able to raise further funding. And today, we are quite the South African Housing and Infrastructure Fund. We are accelerating delivery of affordable housing in South Africa. We know that affordable housing in South Africa is a challenge, and it's one of the things that is fight and people toy-toying. I had the opportunities like that we did at Waterfall. I had the opportunity to deal with retail, shopping centers in different areas. But I took a decision about a year ago that I'm going to offer affordable housing and move away from all the skyscrapers and all of this so that I can have some kind of an impact into the community. But one of the things that I learned when I was in Boston is that the term location in real estate has changed. So it's more about timing. So a lot of people will see that this space where you're playing at the high end, there's a lot of, the market is a bit down there. And I think it's important that people need to understand that affordable housing is a sector and a space where there's a lot of opportunities for a lot of people. And I think people like Uma Stand are really the people that can be able to have a better future in terms of accelerating the delivery of affordable housing. Now, what does all this story of mine mean to you? I just thought I'll be here in this Kasi in Soweto and meet a lot of people from Soweto, and I have a lot of questions to say, how then do I start? And I think I didn't know that Victor was actually going to do that. So Soweto alone is sitting on billions of rands that is unbonded. So this township and I think we're almost in the heart of the township. And I don't want to keep you too long because you still need to figure out how to get out of this place, right? Back home. So I won't keep you too long. But we're in the heart of Soweto where there's billions of rands that are not bonded. And I think banks like ABSA and Uma Stand have a good opportunity to be able to come here to refinance Soweto and other areas that look like Soweto. So there's opportunities. This is where I will say that as a young person, how do you get into the sector? So forget the Donald Trumps who build the skyscrapers, forget big listed companies like Growth Point. You can make the same numbers in the township and actually while you are making an impact. So we started a foundation called the Rally Mampelo Learnership Foundation when I won the South African Property Professional of the Year. And basically, this was about 15 years. And what we're doing, we help young entrepreneurs who want to join real estate with training, sponsorships, and what we call that bringing new blood into the old vein of real estate. Because real estate in South Africa is still under 10%, there's still under 10% black participation in South Africa. And that's obviously alarming. It's going to cause trouble, just like what's happening now in downtown in terms of people complain that they don't have jobs because other people from other countries are taking jobs. And I don't want to get into politics, but this is also one of the concerning elements where it doesn't make sense that 90% of the people own 10% and 10% of the people own 90% of real estate in South Africa. So we need to change that picture, and we're working hard to do that. So part of the foundations that we're saying here today, we would like to get young stars who are coming from Soweto today to say that anyone who's here, who's from Soweto, who's aspiring, and I think for the fact that you paid some money to come and be here, it means that you're a serious entrepreneur who's looking to come into property as an investor. So we will pay for all of you. So my foundation called the Rally Mampelo Learnership will sponsor the full subscription fee. I think they said today is a special. So let's take advantage of that. So we'll buy a few of those 2,500 packages, and we will want to give to young stars who can then be able to get opportunities to learn more about properties from SAPIN, and also a few of the tickets we'll want to buy for the 3 months coach that Andrew is giving, because I think as a sector, we need to encourage that. So anyone who's here, who's specifically from Soweto or any other township, or who's previously from a township, let's chat tonight before we all go home, and we can be able to then sponsor the coaching and also a few of those membership. So let me see if I raise of hands people that are going to take this offer. Ooh, that's fine. That's fine. So we want to give. Wow. Well done. So, I mean, I won't bore you with the presentation. I've already mentioned what we're doing in terms of the whole concept of Sahif. But I've mentioned, I'll just give you these highlights and then I'll then stop and we can maybe engage with each other if there's any questions. But what we've done, we've recruited some CEAs who were in the listed space and we formed this fund. And the fund is about 15.3 billion rand that we're going to accelerate the delivery of affordable housing within the space of 3 years. And we're currently in 5 provinces and we've got well-located land. Ooh, how do I go back? I'm so sorry. This is the one, no? To the highlight, yeah. So we are going to put on the market in the next 3 years just over 100,000 stands to accelerate the delivery of affordable housing. As shareholders of the fund, we have put our own money, about 1.7 billion rand, into the fund. And we're really looking forward to make sure that we can accelerate the delivery of affordable housing in South Africa while we're making a difference and while we're bringing young entrepreneurs into this space that really needs to be transformed. So again, I did say that I don't want to bore you with the details of the fund. We can chat about it. You can check on the website. But I want to engage and see if there are any other young entrepreneurs that may want to chat with us today. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Let's first give Rally a round of applause. Thank you so much, Rally. That's just amazing, amazing what you've put together. And I'm sure all of us are very much inspired by his journey. But I also think that there's a lot of opportunity in what he shared, isn't that so? It's a massive, massive opportunity. But thank you so much for sharing. So we are going to open the floor up. Do we have any questions for him, specific questions with regards to his presentation? The gentleman over there. Yes, sir?
What is the limit to a youngster? When you say a youth or youngster, what is the limit on age? Because some of us are
well, I thought this room only have youngsters.
Okay.
You're never too late to start in real estate. That's the thing. You are never too late in buying any investment properties. So, having said that, I think you got the answer.
Awesome. Anyone else?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, three of us here are actually still studying in university, and what we're realizing is that a lot of the stuff learned in university doesn't really apply in the real world, because information tends to run within a 3-year span. So the information you learned maybe 3 years ago doesn't apply because of the way that the world develops. So I want to ask, since you studied in Harvard and everything, did the...
I always get that, guys.
Did the course that you did, like, is it applying to you today? And do you think that the school route is still one to, venture to?
Wow, what a powerful question. I think so. So one of the person that has made a difference with in my life is a guy by the name of Roderick Williams. He was a trainee for a company that I started with called Chairs Everett. That training that I got for a good only 7 days made a difference in my whole life. And I had the opportunity of meeting Rod Williams literally about 6 days ago. We had breakfast. And he saw what we're doing with our foundation in terms of giving back and bringing new blood into the old vein of real estate. And he said to me, Riley, can we start some kind of a training program to bring in young entrepreneurs that want to come into real estate and actually learn about exactly how to sell houses, how to become an investor, not just what the schools or I must be careful about what I'm going to say now, but the universities around the world are teaching, which is mainly sometimes just the academic stuff. So I think you're quite right. With the internet these days, you can just sit and Google and learn things and actually go and implement. But it's always good to formalize the relationship. You will notice that I just graduated from Harvard this year. And I don't want to give out my age, just in case there's some young girls here, but I got the qualification at a later stage for me to be able to be taken serious as well. Because, some people are still thinking to say, well, who's this guy? So I said, well, I'm Harvard. But in real life, all the stuff that we did here, I did not learn from any institution, but from in-house training. So we're looking forward and excited as the foundation of the Rally Mampelo Foundation to be able to be the anchor in doing this college where we'll be training youngsters to join the real estate and actually training them on how to knock on the house, how to do cold calling, how to break ground, how to get an investor to do a development.
Awesome. Now you keep that. I think we're going to ask 2 more questions. So we've got one more person here, and then we've got a gentleman over there.
Hi. I just wanted to ask, also because we are fairly young, for us, for example, how does it work in terms of, because I'm hearing a lot about credit scores and things like that, and we don't even earn a salary. So in terms of starting off young, because you start off pretty young as well, how did you go about that?
Yeah, I told a little bit of my story, how I've started, which basically is the topic of today, on how to use other people's money. So the bottom line is that I don't really believe that financial, and sorry to Upside and others, but I don't really believe that in South Africa, as young entrepreneurs, we should be really wanting to look at funding. A lot of youngsters that I meet in South Africa are always telling me to say, we're not getting funding. They need this, they need experience, they need balance sheet, they need this. Exactly what you just asked me now. And I'm saying to youngsters to say, go back to what Victor was saying. If it happened that Ugogo, find a way, if it means that you finance Ugogo's house in Soweto and take that 450 or 400,000 to be able to go out, is a sign that we need to go home. Yeah. So the bottom line is that I really think that you must bootstrap as a young entrepreneur, and by doing that, you should be able to see what resources are available around you, even if it means that you must use other people, that angels' money, to be able to get into the next step, not necessarily funding. And once you are there, it's easy for anyone to come to want to approach you. Of course, now as Sahiv, we have a lot of institutions that are wanting to partner with us and starting to give us funding, but they wouldn't have done that 18 years ago.
Awesome. Oh, answer. Thank you. And then the gentleman over there.
Evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chablani. I'm currently from Soweto. So the question I wanted to ask is that the training that you provide and the funds, are they specifically into real estate only, or because some of us have some great project that we would like to implement in Soweto?
So I assume those projects are what? Property development, construction, no?
For instance, a zoo.
The what?
A zoo.
A zoo, wow.
Yes.
Wow, wow. So there's a lot of investors in this house today, and I'm probably one of them. This concept, I think it's amazing. And I think we should then engage with each other and see if there could be other investors that could take on this concept and see how you can do a zoo in Soweto. I think it would be amazing. So as the foundation, we help young people to get into the real estate space, and we don't necessarily fund them, but we do give sponsorship for them to learn and go into institutions to be able to trade in the real estate space. But from a personal level, as an investor, and also from a Sahif point of view, we can look at that as an opportunity for us to invest, to make a difference in terms of having some recreations in areas like Soweto. I think it's a fantastic thing, and we should talk about it further.
Awesome. Let's give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much, Raleigh. Thank you for that. Ladies and
Candice,
gentlemen, for
just a second. So can I also be taught from you specifically?
Yes. No, definitely. So as I indicated, so we have a learnership called the Rally Mampelo Learnership. Of course, we're going around South Africa and speaking to youngsters. I'm not able to mentor and train in each and every individuals. But one of the reasons why we're here today is because there's a lot of other people that can help us. I mean, if you look at the legacy property coach, we think that's one of the great programs where, as a learnership, we can then be able to sponsor you to have a person like that. But because today you had a lovely idea and you are here to listen to me till so late, definitely you and I can have coffee and we can chat and see how we can put you to the learnership as well.
Thank you so much, Charlie. That's awesome. And ladies and gentlemen, I think what I mentioned in the beginning of this presentation is that can you see why it's so important to come to these types of platforms? Over and above just the connecting. Yes. Okay.
I'm sorry. No. Just because I just remembered now when I sat next to Victor, just to let you know, this industry, I think Victor didn't mention this whole back dwellers, Amaroom and all of that, is a 10 billion rand industry, okay, which has got no formal players, okay? And I think as township real estate entrepreneurs, we must really take on the offer of Victor and actually look at really getting into this space because there's no formal player. So if you look at our industry, the real estate where we sell houses, every year that industry, which is the Pam Golding, the Chairs Everett, the SIF, they earn about 17 billion rand on an annual basis and they share amongst themselves. This is a 10 billion rand industry with no formal player. And I'm not saying let's take away the business from the gogos and all of that, but I think it's a lot of money for the gogos. And I think the next generation should be able to help the gogos. Yeah. But the reason why I'm saying this is because the prop tech space is really tapping into the township. And if we don't wake up, we're going to see that all these houses in the township have been refinanced for bedroom or dwellers, but then that industry will still be owned by not necessarily people from Soweto, Davidton and other areas because they already put in. So there are also apps that are already out there, which one of them is called Indlu, and I love them. But basically what they're doing, it's a white-owned business that has done an app, and what they say, at a tap of your phone, we can connect you with the GOGO, and they then say to the other person, GOGO, we can be able to give you funding to be able to do the bedroom dwellers. So I think it's very important for us as entrepreneurs from places like Soweto to really get into this space. Remember, I said to you, it's about timing. It's not about location. So the timing is in that space. Thank you.
Awesome. Great stuff. Thank you so much, Raleigh. I mean, that was really a wealth of information that you've shared with us and also very inspiring. So there are lots and lots of opportunities out here. But I think also a few key things that came from his talk this evening is that it's also important to make sure that you get the right level of coaching or the right level of knowledge. Isn't that so? So in order for us to be able to identify the opportunities, you need to be able to get the right level of knowledge. And nothing says you shouldn't continue with what you're studying at the moment. But if you want to take advantage of the opportunities in the market, and I mean, I can honestly tell you this, I've also been going through the journey myself, is that it's an ongoing journey of getting the right level of knowledge and coaching and mentorship. And also making sure that you surround yourself with like-minded people and, people who are more successful than you, because it's an opportunity for us to grow. I mean, there could be some opportunities already this evening that are coming out from this engagement. Isn't that so? So, ladies and gentlemen, I think let's just give all our speakers a huge round of applause. Well done to all our speakers. They really shared a lot of awesome information with us, great opportunities, and I really hope that for you who are here, you're definitely going to be exploring some of those opportunities. You've been invited to talk to them. They are sitting over here. They will be here still for a few minutes this evening, so please connect with them. And then I just brought this slide in as an additional slide, ladies and gentlemen, because I did have some people during the breaks coming to me, and I remember one specific lady saying to me, Candice, I've been coming to these events, but how come I don't know about the Premier memberships? That's a problem, Andrew. So she's asked me, and not just her, but various other people. So these are the opportunities that are available. So for those of you who would like to become Premier members, just to share with you a little bit more, because that's what she asked me, what are some of the benefits that we get as Premier members? So first of all, you get to come to these type of networking platforms at no cost. So you don't have to pay any cost to come into this type of network. So for those of you who came here today who are not members, I think you paid about 300 Rand. Is that correct?
Yes, so once you become a member, it's 247 Rand per month. And then, of course, you get to go to any networking event throughout South Africa. We also have a live stream audience. So you've been seeing us connecting with the team. There's a live stream audience, all of Premier members all over South Africa. So for those who can't be at a particular place or at a particular event, they also then get to connect into what's happening here via the live stream, which is also really awesome. And that's all part of your Premier membership. What's also made available to you, you saw we had some of the team come up here and just pitch some of the opportunities. And really, this is an opportunity for other investors to pitch their deals to investors. So the Premier members use these platforms to come here and to connect with with other investors, because this is where a lot of the deals are being made. So it's also a very good platform for you to do that. And then also, there are exclusive Premier members that we get, events that we get to attend. So we actually had one a couple of weeks ago, and I tell you, it's an amazing, amazing experience, because it's a little bit more intimate. So it's not the very large groups. We have a small amount of people, and I promise you, everyone in there has either someone has got finance and they're looking for a deal, or someone's got a deal and they're looking for finance. So it becomes an awesome platform to connect those two individuals. And this is really what networking is all about. So for those of you who would like to enroll for any of our MEs at the back with the team, and she'd be able to help you get started. We also had some of our Premier members. She's going to be asking Nikki, and I'm going to ask TJ just to come up, and as Premier members, just share what the experience has meant for you, and really what it has meant for you as an investor today, and how you've been able to move forward. So let's give them a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Ben. Honor, ladies.
Thank you, TJ. I just want to say to those who might be considering joining that it really is so worthwhile, but you can't even tangibly understand the benefits until you've been part of this environment for a time. The way that I explain it to some people is, if you get too much information at once, it's like a flood and it can cause damage and erosion. But put yourself in gentle rain and you can change the Karoo into a rainforest. And that is what this environment is. Someone said to me this evening, so tell me, they say a lot of the same things. Do you learn something new every time? Every time. But even those things I say again, I need to hear them again and again. They make sense the second time round. Another thing you go, now that's what I understand. I didn't have a handle before, or I still haven't done that. I really needed that reminder. And in this environment, we now have absolutely awesome partners. I think we were part of Andrew's slowest students ever. So if you are slow, keep coming back. I stand on the stage with a partner. So it's really good, and it's an amazing journey. Like-minded people, just keep coming. Join and keep coming.
Awesome. Thank you, Nikki. Let's give a round of applause.
So about 2 years ago, I was probably sitting somewhere that side in the dark. You see those guys that are sitting in the dark there? That was me. And I came into this networking sessions, and my favorite networking session is in Bryanston, because it's not too far away from my house. The first time round I came into this network, I was alone. And then the second time round, I dragged my wife into it and I said, babe, you need to come through. This is an amazing place. But I would come in and I would just soak in. Who doesn't want to be like Raleigh when they grow up?
Awesome.
Like I am that guy. I look at Raleigh, I'm like, I want to be like Raleigh when I grow up, right? I am going home inspired. I am a young blood, right? I'm only 2 years in, and I'm looking at Raleigh, he's doing it 18 years, and I'm thinking, so we're putting a plan in my business to go into market to start a fund for 10 million. I'm going back to my business partner, I'm like, no, we're playing, guys. There it is here. But all of this is coming from this network, right? So I'm getting the education. Let's talk about the tools that you get. Anyone knows about TPN? Okay. So for those that for those people that don't know, you can get that as part of the package, right? That's number one. Okay. Now, if you're one of those people that are, a little bit shy and they want to stay in their own little corner like I used to be, I never used to come here in the front. It's taken me a long time to come and start standing in the front here. But there is no network when I don't talk. I will always talk. I make sure. Why? Because I'm now seeing the benefit of it because, like for instance, Nikki has said, we've been journeying with Nikki. We started in school together, where we got education together, and now we're doing business together, right? And for that, I didn't have money. Nikki had the money. and together, we are making a difference.
Awesome.
Okay? Had I not been coming into this network, I would have never met Nikki. Then this conversation would have never happened. And I would have never dropped the mic.
Awesome. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for sharing. Great stuff. Andrew, I'm just going to ask you just to come up, please. So we are going to be closing now, ladies and gentlemen. But once again, a huge round of applause to all our speakers today. Thank you so much. You did an amazing job. And Andrew, just maybe a few words from you just before we close off officially for the evening.
Sure. Ladies and gents, was it an awesome event? Yeah. Did you all enjoy it? Yeah. Are my young guys going to go out there and start buying properties? Absolutely. And like Candace says, just keep, and Nikki says, when do you stop learning, by the way? At what age? Absolutely. There will be downfalls, there will be ups. But I can tell you something, when you have those down days, when you come to these events and you're part of the network, we will pick you up and we will help you move forward. Can I ask you all, though, to give a massive round of applause to all the partners and speakers that came here this evening. Thank you, Riley, Victor, Christian, Bruno, Suti, Marlene, Elise. Thank you all for coming this evening. And I think from my side, Candace, I just want to wish you all well. Remember, my favorite saying is this, is that knowledge without action is a complete waste of time. Would you agree? However, action without knowledge is deadly. And that's why you need to get the education and turn it into practice. Would you all agree with that, ladies and gents? But I think from my side, Candace, thank you very much. Has Candace been good, ladies and gents? Absolutely. Like Candace said, we will be sticking around. We'll be doing some more networking. Simone and the team are there if you want to join our community, which is the fastest growing community in South Africa. They are there. They will serve you. And from my side, Candace, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Andrew. Great stuff. Now, before you leave, Michelle, I need you to come up here. We need to give out these awesome prizes. Sorry?
Christian, Bruno, and Miguel to give the prizes.
Yes, please do come up. Can our sponsors just come up? So Bruno, Miguel, and then Christian, please come up, gentlemen. Okay, so you will each get a specific prize that you will be giving. Maybe you give one of the books to Bruno, yes. And then also remember that as Property Pick, we will also be giving you a 3 months free subscription. So this is to one of our investors out there. Okay, so which prize are you going to be starting with first?
There's a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4.
Okay, so she's got the names. This lady's organized. Awesome. So we've got 1 is the winner. Okay, so we'll start with number 4, which is one of our live stream viewers. And her name is Elzan Leroux. Let's give her a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. So she's one of our live stream premium members. She's not here this evening, but she's been part of this, and she's from Cape Town. So let's just give her another round of applause. So the first book will be going towards Elzan Leroux, which is the Rich Dad, Poor Dad book. Great stuff. Nice gift. Thank you so much, Miguel. Let's give him a round of applause. So that's a sponsor from APSA. And then our third winner is a gentleman by the name of Hamim Ishmael. And I'm going to ask him to stand up, please. Awesome. Please come and collect your prize. So that will be the second prize. Great stuff. Let's give him another round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Please stand here. We're just going to take a pic.
Sorry.
Candy.
It's my phone away.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And then we've got our second winner. And that will be the Property Pick free investor subscription for 3 months. And this person is Tato Mashilo. Awesome. Great stuff. Just come out. You can just give me a handshake. And watch her. Great stuff. Okay, so we've got your details, and then we will be in contact with you, okay?
Great.
We'll send you an email, how it works and everything. Okay, so you've got his email address, contact number. Okay, we've got all of that. Let's give him another round of applause. So you're going to be getting some awesome deals, Tato, so that's awesome. And then our winner for tonight, which is the grand prize of the cash flow gift that we've got here, and this is courtesy of Sappin. So we're going to be calling up Palisa Noyovani. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much, sponsors. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, that calls it a night. Thank you so much for your time.
One last thing.
Yes.
Just one last thing, just an idea. Nikki, could you come to the front? What would be really cool in Soweto is I've got access to a few hundred of those games, the cash flow games. And just in 2 sentences, I want you to explain how it changed your mindset. Because if someone lives in Soweto and someone can get me a venue, what I'm willing to do is to bring a few cash flow games, and we do what's called a cash flow day. So we play for 2 hours, we get some muffins, some coffee, and we start playing the cash flow game. And you'll be surprised as to how it changes your mindset. But I need someone in Soweto just to give me a room, be it a big boardroom, be it a venue, a church, a hall. I can bring the games to help you guys promote cash flow. Now, just quickly explain in 2 seconds how it's helping the youth in terms of what you do.
There's 2 versions of the cash flow game. The adult game, actually I think there's 3. There's an advanced one. The youth one for young children. Honestly, it's difficult to explain, but it models reality. So the principles of investment, small business, getting out of the rat race, understanding Robert Kiyosaki's cash flow quadrant in a way that is very simple to understand for the young ones and real life for our age, so that you can actually simulate and learn in a way that is not going to cause you any damage. So you can take risks, make mistakes, and actually learn in the process. Try things before you have to try it in real life. And suddenly your eyes open. It's like scales fall off your eyes, and what you never saw before, you suddenly have eyes to see, and you'll see so many opportunities all around you.
Awesome. Thank you, Nikki. Great stuff. So we already have 3 volunteers who will be leading that initiative here in Soweto. So that's really awesome. Thank you so much. And then just one last thing that I just want to remind everyone, any of you who has any deals, please remember, Tony is your guy. He will be at the property show. He will be pitching to 10,000 potential investors. So for those of you who have deals and who are looking for investors, please don't forget to connect with Tony, okay? Everyone, Tony, just wave to everyone so they see who you are. Just wave to everyone. Okay, so please just connect with Tony if you've got any deals.
And one last thing. I want to do Marlene. We need a photo of Spa and Rally. So straight afterwards, if we can meet on stage, Victor, Bruno, Christian, just the speakers. Victor, come on stage. I just want to do photographs with Michelle, okay?
Awesome, great stuff.
Awesome.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Pursue your dreams and love your purpose. Thank you so much. God bless you. Bruno, can I? Awesome. Thank you. Can you please pass my water there, please? Thank you so much. You must join us on stage, eh?
watching you when you sleep. I am your source of strength when it all falls down and you're on your knees. And when the day comes and everybody's gone, you can call me a friend. I'll be here for your new beginnings, and I'll be here in the end, here in the end. I am the shining star you see at night when you're in the storm. I am the beating heart that's by your side when you're in my arms.